you want to relive the highlights of it, we've got you covered with the recap of yesterday's games.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah, God, indeed. Moves on the run, but you can't run from this. Nisha just keeps converting out. He's wondering who he wants to hit, but Yapsaw, the perfect double stun. Mid one into the Wukong. Come on! Echo from Yapsaw. Perfect hit. There's two locked down as well. They stampede up with a hoof stomp. It really only connects on one, and it ain't the mid one. 3 heroes with no buyback available. And it really looks like that glimmer, well, it's gone. GG. Now Bryle starts opening up, and the cleave from Moo, it's gonna be there. They'll get through the Terror Blade. We got another decay, another rock lockdown, and they've got the stuns out once more. Nisha can't get away. Yep, with the Sunder, he'll have the extra life. No need to get away when you can just stand and fight. Heartbeat, he was gonna get stunned up for control, but dying. He evaporated out. Moo looking for his fight, but Nisha, the Terror Blade. This is why he's in the meta. Nisha's so fast on the BKB, and he just turns the damage into a forever. The black hole's out, but no, he's dies, and Yapsaw steals it perfectly. Nisha with a triple kill. He opens up a gaping black hole in J-Storm, and that is GG, well played. Nisha maybe in a little bit too deep, and Yapsaw! There's your 3-man hole! Zyda follow up, the damage is coming in mid one. They can't do enough! And the buyback's there from Enigma. He's deeping over towards the Shrine with a double torrent and control, mind control. Oh! Mid one! Bottom tower is gone, 3 heroes on the sideline. And this game, it belongs to Team Secret. Even with the curse out, no one's close enough to Yapsaw for him to die. They want that DL. They want him dead. Reflection turns on again. My lord, this damage! Husker, he's under his tier 4 towers, and they don't give an F. Global Sans is out. The slapdown is there. No way for Sasuke to escape, and this is really the game. Huskar's on the front lines, but it's a 3-man slapdown with a boundless strike. No way to escape. Yapsaw lets it go. It's defensive, you'll set the rub. PPD will die as well. A quick jump forward, but he steals the life break and jumps back into the Husker. How much can you buy out? Oh, this is punishing. This is punishing. GG, like all good teams do.
Got action here. Going in. Boom! Oh. Big RP dropped right on top here from King RD, and the troll begins to chop away. Triple kill.
Wow. This troll, he's in a little bit of trouble.
Yep, there's that Hex. It's locking him in a spot without the magic immunity. He just can't even move.
Give him the hard carry. He wants to carry. Guess what? Looks like he did. Maybe you start playing a different strategy. All of a sudden, you got this mid player. But yeah.
Woo. The GG makes it official. Doing his best to slow them down. That's Spider.
There's the dunk.
Right on top of the head. Hiding in Viz. He's going to blink right on top of him here in a second. Oh, he's waiting. Oh, he's got patience. Boom! Jumps in. Immediate dunk right on top of the head and finishes off the Broodmother. All right, some good burst here to get the Weaver, but there it is. Time lapse is going to come off right there. They hold strong. Bryle trying to swing it out, but has no answer for them. He goes down, no buyback. GG's called. They got the kill to deny, not quite. Oh, here it is. That's a black hole on the 2. Stolen Torrent catches the 2. There's the boat. The Eclipse comes out. They send it on the back side. It's doing a lot of work here and able to get the finish on the Milan. That's going to be no black hole. This Luna chunking it there. Black hole is going to get dropped and committed. Is it good enough? No, it's canceled out, and she finishes him off. The black hole stolen and committed from Misery as well. Mark trying to assist him with the stun power, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Another adaptive strike trying to bend and back it away. Milan steps in with his own stun. HFN is hard to bring down. Stolen Midnight Pulse as well for them to try to fight through.
That's a good call. Whoever made that call.
Toss up and down, but there's the Sunder, and one shot and a dunk, and Tavo is gone. Frantic to try to go for the rearm. Jump in from Pata. Beautiful setup on the 2. Saksa from the outside, able to get that Yules on the Weehawk. They're going to be able to hold him back and away while Mind Control runs on forward, looking to go for the finish onto Tavo. It's a long, slow burn to be able to go for the finish of Weehaw, but they eventually will get it done, and that will be the game. But as the toss combo comes out, a good little cold embrace. Now the Monkey King ult. We desperate to stay alive with the self-Yules, but eventually will be brought down. The Magnetize being committed there for Misery, doing some decent damage. Ace starts stepping in from the low ground, going right in, but Tavo moves in, gets the black hole onto 2, close to get Fada, able to get the finish. Fada doesn't get the time lapse out. They're just trying to scrap it on out. They will get the blast finish onto Mind Control. He's going to buy back to look to get back into action here. Ace trying to fight on forward, has his hands full with this Monkey King a little bit. Misery gets back on in, only finds one connection with the Magnetize onto Fata. Fata moving forward, does have that time lapse. Is he going to be able to use it here? Does he want to bail anyone out? Doesn't even feel necessary. Does use it. It's on to Ace. He doesn't get any life back. He just goes back a bit.
Hey there.
So much action yesterday. It was quite the sight. We had, of course, Group A and Group B showing, and very different groups. Definitely here to talk with you about yesterday, but also, of course, about today and everything that's going to come your way here on this stream. It is my panel, and my lovely panel today consists of Bulldog, Gods, and Kyle. Why did you laugh when I say lovely panel? You're like,
nah, just nothing. I'm just excited to be here with these lovely people to my left and right.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good morning. It's gonna be I mean, we're gonna have Alliance later on. We're gonna have the expert Alliance opinion later on. But first, I do want to talk a little bit about yesterday because it was a crazy day. Let's start with the easy one. Group A was pretty straightforward, Bulldog.
Yeah, it's kind of what we expected, I guess. It was just Secret destroying easily, even against NiP. And NiP is the kind of team that no one is exactly sure how good they are. They got good players, but they just performed okayish. So, and yeah, Pain and J-Storm kind of expected as well, not doing amazing either. So, you know, that group was just as expected.
Yeah, anything to add to that? I mean, it was pretty straightforward, right? A lot of 2-0s.
The only thing I would comment on, because I casted both the Secret series, and they're one of the best teams here.
Yeah.
Coming in, I thought Secret, Fnatic were for sure 2 of the top 4. EG, I think, is in there as well. And it's just going to be whichever Chinese team I think stands out from the pack. But Secret's a real deal, and they look like they're going to be even more dominant than they were at the start of last season.
And I'd say VP in that group. But yeah, I think there's only like 3, maybe 4 teams that Secret can lose to this event. They're not going to lose to any team that's not on a tier 1 level. They're just that consistent, that good. They have such a good understanding of how to play in draft right now.
Was there anything in particular that stood out about the way they play? Like something that we can see more of, like, for example, today, for people that had looked at them and it's like, wow, Secret's really good. We should do what they do.
I think the itemization, the way that they kind of cover their drafts and their individual heroes' weaknesses, specifically with the usage of sustain or defensive items, in addition to occasional utility if there's need for forces or glimmers, Lotus, etc. And outside of that, just like the drafting formula they utilize, when they're second pick, they always have a last pick that could be multiple roles, and they can play every Exodia hero that exists. So I think that they're just solid through and through.
Now we have, of course, NiP also making it through to the upper bracket from Group A. They did drop 2 games against Secret. They did also won 4 games against Pain Gaming. Does that mean, like, what type of scale are they at? Because it's very difficult to judge them when they're playing against Secret, and you guys saying, well, Secret is you know, one of the best teams here, and how are you going to be able to see like how NiP will do on the grand scale of things?
I don't think we can. Like, NiP could be a top 5, top 6 team, or they could be a bottom 6 team right now. They've played. Other than Secret, they played 1 team. It's like, how good are NiP? No clue.
Yeah, and the way they're playing as well, they kind of pick some cheesy heroes with a draw and Husker. So, you know, when they pick that against VP or something like that, it's probably not going to go that well. So it's hard to predict that team right now.
And then there was Group B. And I know some of us already were asleep when Group B was still playing out, because Group B was the group of death, you guys. It was very scary for a lot of teams in there. EG, though, they made it look easy. They made it look their group. They did drop 1 game to Aster, but then 2-0ing VG Gaming after that. It was, for them, it was seemed an easy group.
Yeah, I actually think Aster looked the better team than Vici.
Mhm.
They won the first game in the final decider match.
Yeah.
Through the second, like, really hard. And it appeared as if Sylar tilted off the face of the earth.
I have heard that Sylar at the moment is suffering from a big fever. Luckily for them, they have the day off today, and but he has a fever, and he already had it coming in. But he didn't want his team to have to play with the stand-ins because it could cost his team points, and didn't want to have to deal with that. So he figured, you know what, I'll suffer through it. And
that makes sense because the game 3 he played Bloodseeker, and I've never seen him play a worse game. Like Sylar is like the definition of stable, always on. Like he never has an off game, and he went like 1-12, and it was really, really rough to witness.
It was, though. Fiji Gaming, I mean, still in the upper bracket. They're going to be happy with that.
Yeah, maybe showing some weakness, though. People talked about them as one of the favorites after their run at ESL, having a close finals. One of the few teams that has almost beaten Secret so far this year, but didn't look convincing this group. They had got 2-0'd by EG. They showed like definitely some weakness. Yeah,
it looked like they went on vacation immediately after Hamburg, to be honest. They just didn't. They seemed to step below what they were.
It happens. Group B and Group A, that means 8 teams that are already seeded. And now it's time for us to reveal the big, massive, pretty double elimination bracket. It is glorious.
Yikes. That's a lot.
I mean, I think it looks great.
It does.
But the bottom left, I can barely see it.
Well, they're the teams that have lost.
Teams don't care
So it doesn't matter.
Yeah. TNC versus Pain. Damn, that's a brutal round 1 match.
Why?
I mean, I wouldn't, because one of those teams is getting bottom 4. I don't think either is a bottom 4 team.
And TNC was almost upper bracket as well. They looked very hot.
So TNC, oh God, man, this team is just so frustrating.
They embody SEA Dota.
They do. They lost 4 games yesterday. They won 1 of their 5 games out of their 2 BO3s, and all 4 of those games they took racks and were ahead in at least 3 of the 4. Like, they took racks first. They were winning. They had a 30k gold lead. They threw it. They had a 15k gold lead. They threw it. TNC need to get their shit together. They are just like the worst decision-making team in the mid to late game, despite being like one of the best teams in the early game. It's just mind-boggling how much they just hit a roadblock every single time they're ahead.
I was talking with Tigers in Sweden at the minor, and they were talking about how Gabby and Armel they think could be just like the best 2 cores in SEA. Bear in mind, like, who's on Fnatic, you know? And they just can't close. They were up 30k, had like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. It actually pains me because they really do look like a top tier team. And then
if they had just some discipline, a better captain, I think they would be winning bracket right now.
A better captain, you say?
Yes.
I know a player that is captain.
I don't see any around.
Bulldog's looking for a squad, I think.
Is he?
I would be a good captain.
Would you?
The best captain here, at least, that's for sure.
I mean, that's not that hard.
He's already an admiral.
Jeez.
He's already an admiral, general, captain. You know, pretty close. Is admiral not higher than a captain? No?
I think it depends on the branch.
Admiral's the highest of the highest.
At sea.
In
At
the
sea
world.
it is. No.
At everything.
I mean, sure.
It's higher than a president.
We'll go with that.
If only.
It's not that. That brings us to today, though. 'Cause TNC, I mean, they're gonna have a day off, and that's good for them. They need that to untilt, if you will. But today is gonna be the day for Group C and Group D. Let's start with Group C, because that is the group that is going on at the same time as Group D, and we will focus on Group D later on. So Group C, you'll see on your screen a couple of times here and there. We'll, of course, keep you updated throughout the day. But if you want to follow the matches, there are other streams available for just that. Group C, PSG LGD versus Tigers, Fnatic versus Gambit, Bulldog. Any instant preferences on how this group's going to turn out?
Well, the obvious one is LGD, one of the strongest Chinese teams, obviously. Probably going to be on top there. It's also Fnatic. Kyle seems to think that Fnatic is a top team here. I'm not as confident about that.
Why not?
I mean, they have really good players, but I don't think they can perform as well as VP or Secret. They have the players, but I don't know if they have the leadership and so on. I'm not sure. We'll have to see them play.
Yeah, they have an interesting leadership thing in the game because they don't really have a captain. Was that the way they're playing this?
No, Jabs is captaining and drafting. He's, I think, kind of not really talked about as being one of those captains in SEA, but for a lot of last year with Mineski, he was, for at least, I think, half the year, drafting and captaining the team, and I think doing a good job of it. So
Yeah.
I believe in Jabs as a captain there.
It's funny because a lot of the time there's certainly like a captain's personality like outside of the game. Usually they're more like outgoing, outspoken, and Jabs is more of a what was that?
Just saying, this is you're describing it. I'm not saying it,
I'm
that's a bad
describing,
thing.
Puppy,
Yeah,
PPD,
sure.
these guys,
Yeah,
they're
the vocal captain.
yeah.
The vocal captain.
Jabs is more reserved in
Yeah.
person, but he talks a ton in game. It's similar to I think 3-3 and snaking even, because people see these guys as like quiet, but then you play Dota with them and you realize that
Kuro is a similar thing. He's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
Aoi, Fato used to be a very vocal guy in game, but quiet outside the game.
Yeah,
so.
but they kind of wanted to just conglomerate the power, right? Because if you look at Fnatic, last season it was pretty much split down the middle, and you had 2 teams going to LANs. They just pretty much brought everyone together, and now they're, I'd say, the de facto top team in SEA, and everyone is top-tier talent at their role. And yeah, Jabs, unlike other players who will not be named, said, I'm going to be 5, I'm going to captain, and he didn't demote, DJ to like 5 support or something. He just stuck to his guns.
Some shade being thrown here for
No
people
shade.
not aware. Fnatic is also one of the few teams that doesn't have coach. Is that a bad
Yeah,
thing?
they do. They got Dubu, don't they?
They do have Dubu, actually.
Unless they
Do they?
They
fired
did
him.
for a little while. I don't know if they still do. I'm not sure.
It wasn't listed on Liquipedia.
Yeah. I know they're
But they did
working with
have
a
it.
new analyst. I don't know if he's here with them now.
Okay.
A Filipino guy. Paolo.
Okay.
You might know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? He's their analyst?
So I heard.
And
Cool.
for
I'm not sure if that's official. I may have just leaked some like Fnatic news here.
Whoops. Bulldog for PSG LGD, you mentioned them as one of the strongest teams coming out of China at the moment. Previous event they were at, they didn't look too hot. They were at the PvP esports event in Singapore, but they didn't have that coach with them, and for them, that's their drafter as well. That's a big deal.
And that team has been a little bit up and down, as you mentioned. Like sometimes when they're on fire, this team is like the best Chinese team. So it all depends who shows up. And personally, I think they will just destroy this tournament. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Do you think getting second at TI is going to be like kind of soul crushing now? Like Newbie after go second TI suddenly went downhill. Is that going to be the same for LGD, or are they different?
No, I don't think so. I think you get more motivated, honestly, if you get second. If you get first, you kind of like you beat the game. I've been there, I beat the game, so I kind of like stopped playing. That's why I got worse, because I was like, I'm done with the game. But if you get second, you're still motivated and so on. So they're still good.
Don't you feel like you missed your shot?
Yeah, I strongly think that second, like look at OG, right? And Bulldog's point where if you take first, you just go on vacation. When
Yeah,
you come
you're done.
back, maybe you're motivated, maybe you're not. Again, looking at Bulldog. But LGD, they've got this like soul-crushing pain.
It was their time too.
It
was
their time.
They were favorites in that finals.
They
were ahead in
this
game 4
close
and
to
game
winning
5. Yeah.
game 3 in the upper bracket final, game 4 and game 5 in the grand final. Like
They should have had it.
and
According to many, they should have had it.
Machine was courtside with the Chinese translator, ready to go up and and talk to them, but no.
It is. I personally think that they'll be very off this tournament. I think that in time, much like Newbie last year when they finally won Genting, they'll eventually get back to the form they were at. But if they're already there, I'd be very impressed personally.
Well, that is all happening in Group C. And as said, we will check in with Group C as the day goes on. But for us, it is time to focus on Group D. And before we focus on the matchup that we're going to follow, VP versus Alliance, should be really, really good. But at the same time, there's Forward versus Pain X. And I want to just quickly touch upon that one. That match seems, on paper, fairly one-sided. I'm saying that a little hesitantly because I'm not sure if that's just me. And I'm not sure, because both of the teams haven't really played all too much in the last couple of months, to be honest.
It's true.
Yeah, Pain X after the qualifiers have played nothing, really. They played, what, King's Cup?
King's Cup, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, their Pain X is like a weaker version of Pain, and Pain is only like this. So if they're below this, then it's not that good. And Forward Gaming, one of the more like fairly solid NA team with a upgrade from Snaking to Universe. So with a team with Universe, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, they got
For
top
sure.
8 at TI, so I think they're a team that look good and solid and should still be a very solid team. Contender for sure.
I put them. I think of them as a bit like NIP, but like maybe a half tier above, where they certainly have the talent to compete with the teams we see perennially up top, but they're just like they're never quite there.
You're talking about forward still, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And I see them as like a guaranteed top 6, but the question is, will they crack into that, that finals day appearance?
They could.
Kind of agree with that. I think they're one of those teams when they first broke out in the VGJ last year. They won the minor in GSC at Thailand, then they went to the major MDL and got second. But that was kind of when they were catching people by surprise. And then over time, they were too predictable. People figured them out, and they're not a team that adapted very well. I think they just kept resorting to their same predictable style and picks, and they didn't really have the ability to stay tier 1. If they'd peaked at TI, they probably would have gotten top 3 if that was 3 months later. But they just peaked too soon.
And the way they're playing as well is just around that resolution, and they kind of need to go away from that a bit. They need more farm on Yavar, give him better game, and with Universe he's always doing well. So, but you can't just rely on resolution just carrying you all the time.
Yeah. Of course, they're showing at Hamburg also. They didn't have Yavar with them, so this will be the first actual true showing of them. But that's enough about that. It's time to move to our first matchup of the day: virtus.pro versus Alliance.
They showed promise at the TI-8 qualifiers, but after a summer to reflect on missed opportunities, they're finally showing why this iconic org has placed all their faith in them. Coached by TI-3 winner Loda, this new generation finished 3rd in the EU Regionals and are desperate to leave their mark on the major. Out of the shadows and into the light, and making their debut on the DPC. Give it up for Alliance! Frontrunners for the entire DPC last season, they've kept their double major winning roster, but have yet to fully assert their dominance. Humbled in Hamburg, they arrive in Kuala Lumpur with a point to prove and scores to settle. Winners of the CIS Regionals and led by the iconic Solo. Please give a big hand for virtus.pro.
virtus.pro, top seed, top at DPC first season, and they're here in this major to try and set the record straight that they are still #1, and that TI was just a fluke. Obviously for this team, anything but first place is going to be a disappointment. On the other side, there is Alliance, a team that wasn't qualified for TI-8. They fell short in the European qualifiers, but this year around, according to some, they are indeed back, and this could be their year once again. Bulldog, I want you to talk about Alliance, because you are the Alliance expert, right?
That's right, Cheever.
That's right.
And this team is finally back. I know there's a lot of doubters, probably a couple here, but they don't understand Dota. Alliance has been doing fairly well recently, and they're just getting better and better. With Lord as the coach, like, how can you go wrong? Why is he laughing? Why is he laughing?
Kyle,
you got any
care
comments?
to explain yourself?
I thought that was sorry, please. That was beautiful. Please keep going.
They got Loda. You're not laughing anymore. Not after this series. You're not going to laugh.
Living legend Loda.
Yeah, that's right. And they got some good heroes. They like to cheese a little bit with Brood. Koikva loves that hero. They got a godlike Earth Spirit on Taiga. So this team, even though they're playing against VP, no problem. VP probably like top 3 here, no problem. Because Alliance is top 1. Right?
Very well put. I think you're wrong.
A little bit off the mark. Maybe.
Yeah, you're close though. I mean,
someone's got to believe.
I can't hate on Alliance too much because I go way back with Insania. I've known him for almost like 6 years at this point. Mickey was like back in Hanman, Mickey was like this little superstar. Literally, he was like 14, 15, and he was one of the best mid players. Same with like Zai. Like I remember seeing him at a DreamHack when he was 14, and these kids were unbelievably good. The Ish and Boxy's #1 MMR. I think he's the best Pango in the world. I really hope we see it. And if Alliance gets Pango, I think you're right. They'll win a game. But big question marks for me in the way that some of their strategies get executed, and Koifa. I feel like Koifa has been the exact same player for 5 years now, which is way too farm heavy, not really willing to rotate too much, and just far too dependent on having a good game.
Yeah, I feel like this has changed a little bit though in the recent times. Like if you go 2 months, I feel like Koiko definitely has changed it, because I also agree with that. He's always been farming and kind of had that issue like, when do I join a fight and so on. But I feel like he's kind of changed in that. And we're talking about Mikke, you know, a god player. That's why he's on Alliance. That's why OG tried to steal him. And if they successfully did that, he would have won a TI. So, but now he's on Alliance. He's fine with that.
Is that how it works?
I'm not sure if that is how it works, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
For this series, key players have been chosen. Chosen by Kyle, and so you can enlighten us as to why you chose these two heroes. It is No One and Mikke.
Well, I mean, I feel like the Admiral just explained why Mikke is on this list. They don't have that graph going as far up as it should be, though, because there are a lot of Han achievements, believe it or not. He beat him and Insania past me and Zach. They're the most winningest Han players of all time. Insania is like $500 ahead of Mikke, but No One, I think, is just this rock for VP. I feel like every game they lose, it's because No One's game is off. But I watched him absolutely dumpster TAs with Quaswex and Vokers. I've seen him play pretty much any hero you can think of. If he's on it, you know he's mastered it. So this is what I'd say you got to watch to see who wins.
Yeah, for sure. He is the scary player of or VP for sure. If he gets a good game, hopefully they pick some bad hero on him that he, like, sometimes he gets some weird hero that he can't really carry with, like maybe a Kanka or, I mean, his Kanka is also pretty scary, but if he just gets stuck on a Necro or something, then it's not that scary.
I agree. I think he's got to be on a playmaker. That's why I like this matchup, because you can assume Koifa is going to be lost in the forest somewhere, much like our draft screen, but I don't see Mikke with that luxury. He's going to need to be playing fast and just making moves. I almost wish I'd picked Boxy, because I think Boxy is like...
He's a guy that could maybe win them this series.
Yeah,
if someone's going to step up and make some plays. Yeah, I'd agree with him being that guy.
He's a tier 1 talent. He is the #1 MMR in Europe.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he did
that's
it
impressive.
as an offlaner, and he's not just spamming 3 heroes. He plays almost everything. It's crazy how Alliance has changed over the years.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. All right, draft is on screen, and as you might have noticed, we are highlighting Alliance a lot here before this first series, because everybody knows virtus.pro by this time. They've kept the same roster. We know they can deliver. It is just about, can they show up? Do they peak at the right times again? And the question is, do they even want to peak right now, or they want to save their peaks for TI? Because we know they've missed the boat a couple of times on that one.
I think the Alliance fans will just be happy. You know, it's been a 5 years of struggle.
It has been.
For Alliance fans. You know, 2013. That was 5 years ago.
I left in 2012, so it's 2 years.
You left in 2013, sir.
2016. So that's 2 years ago.
How did Alliance do at TI4 and TI5?
That was good.
Was it?
It was good.
You guys were still. I didn't even know you were still playing.
I don't remember.
He retired, and then he came back, and then he retired again because he realized, you know.
You were playing carry for a
streaming
while
is more
Alliance,
fun.
I believe.
I was always playing carry on that team. In all fairness.
Streaming is more profitable too.
But Alliance are kind of like the challengers to the throne here, and that's why we're talking about them.
Yeah.
But VP is VP. These guys, it's not just No One. It's like every player in every role is phenomenal. Like it's Solo is one of the best captains, and individual skill-wise, his support play is incredible. Pasha on the offlane, and Ramses is a guy that we always praise as being one of the most high-impact carries out there.
And it's surprising. Alliance gives away the Wisp, but I like this from them because I know they love Wisp, and I think that it's a hero that when you're a master of it, you want to leave it in the pool. My opinion on the first 3 bans are take out heroes that the enemy team is going to play better or understands better than you do. And if any team gets Wisp, it's going to be Alliance. But they just gave away Io Gyro with a Wyvern Mirana as the response.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I don't.
It's really good because they clearly have a plan.
I think
otherwise they wouldn't give it away.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Wyvern hard counters this is a free win right now.
It's good against I don't know, man.
We'll see about that.
Old school Wyvern is a bit different, but the way people play Io Gyro now, I think it's unrealistic. You're going to get this great curse off. Your Cold Embrace doesn't do a damn thing to a Gyro running at you maxing out in magic damage output, and I don't know, man. Well, I feel like Morphling is like a go-to one-to-one counter to the Wisp Gyro.
Yeah, I would have rather seen like a
That's why it's
Wyvern
banned.
Morphling. But yeah, yeah, it gets banned now.
Yeah, but it's a boring hero. Alliance is they come up with different things.
Since when does
They're-
Alliance not care about not picking boring heroes?
They never did. They always picked the unique, cool heroes that no one else played. Just like back in the days. Just like the back in the days. The good old days.
Man, sometimes I wish I was playing a TI3. Me and Gods probably could have made that final.
That would have been really fun. I don't think you'll ever make a final, Kyle.
What do you mean? I cast the finals just a couple months ago.
I don't know how that happened.
I am. I think it can work. Alliance is a big fan of Mirana because they play it off and mid, and I'm sure Koifa, Mickey, like all their cores play Mirana. I just feel like this hero has been downgraded a couple of tiers since Alliance last played at a LAN, to be completely honest, because it was a top tier TI pick, but people I think have swapped the meta around and no longer do you have that survivability advantage. I think it's much more now about strength heroes. A lot more teams are picking up stuff like Crimson Guard, and when you have one of those, Mirana doesn't do any damage anymore.
It's you don't do much damage. You aren't a strong laner as well, which is where we've seen Miranas really get bullied a lot. Like yesterday, we saw the Mirana mid versus the Morphling, and game was just lost because of that matchup between Gryle and the Morphling. Secret Nisha, yeah. So I think the hero has too many bad lane matchups and just doesn't do enough even when you have a good game. But we'll see. You've got to set up for the arrow with the Winter's Curse already. I always like seeing teams who get synergy around that Winter's Curse, like the Lina Wyvern, the Mirana here. Having something to set up is just going to make it that much scarier.
All right.
Speaking of scary heroes.
Look at that, a new, interesting, and unique hero, right, Bull?
Yeah. Just picking up that Brood for Koikva. Easy win.
Is it okay for them to pick it up this early?
Yeah, Koikva is playing it. They know how to play around that. You can't lose your lane as Brood, pretty much. You just hit the jungle.
No. I actually don't see it as early in a sense, because the only other option is to pick it fourth. It's going to probably be last band. And all VP gets now is like a free support choice. You know what I mean? So it's better to go third, and like you already know you're picking Brood, so pick it now and then think about what you want fourth. But that is a great selection by VP. That could be support, could be core, and it's pretty hard counter to Brood.
Yeah.
In the lane. Classic here, just put middle. He just free farms, gets an early dagger.
I've seen no one play that matchup a lot.
Yeah.
Going for like the max tree grab and just clearing out spiderlings.
And VP, I feel like, has abused Tiny for the last year and a half. And I've made this point for like a year now, but I think that there's no coincidence that once the deny mechanic was changed, and all of a sudden denies gave 25% XP to both sides, VP became tier 1.
That was a dumb change, by the way.
Kyle and Bull are going to agree on something.
It makes the laning phase of utmost importance. And when you're a team like VP, you have incredibly strong laners. Yeah. They just abuse the lanes. And last season, I felt like more than half of their wins were just because they would snowball the lanes, take over the game. And when they go to TI, it's not as effective because there's a lot more strategy, preparation, etc. And all of a sudden, you're playing against teams not just of equal caliber, but they want it just as bad, and if you don't crush those lanes, you actually have to play Dota, not just farm wars and hit the tower.
Are you flaming virtus.pro?
Undying? Oh, yes.
Into
So
Gyrocopter.
easy. It doesn't matter. It's an Undying against a Tiny. What does Tiny do? Perfect pick by Alliance. Completely
He
countered.
just Avatos kills you,
Yeah.
doesn't he?
But he's a strength, he doesn't die. And if you look at VP's lineup right now, it's a perfect lineup to just beat VP because they're going to overextend.
They don't have
Alliance.
any stuns. How do you make them overextend?
They got Winter Wyvern Arrow. And the
They'll kill one
Arrow is
person.
also a reliable stun because Alliance is playing it. Mickey is going to play it and always just hit it every time.
You want us to count them?
Yeah.
Just in case?
You can count him if you want. He never misses.
Okay.
Dash hook accuracy is back.
But what about
accuracy.
I think it's Gretzky and Jordan. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So shouldn't you take shots that might miss?
But they don't count because you're hitting them, in a sense. On a deep level, you're still hitting.
Got you.
Because it's a scouting arrow.
So both teams kind of revealed their strategy already, right? It kind of mean you got an Gyro versus Brood type of thing.
Yep.
That's fairly unusual compared to what we saw yesterday. Yesterday we saw all the teams mostly trying to hide what they were planning.
I think VP have kind of revealed the core of their strategy, but still have a lot of questions about like what their other lanes are. Like Tiny, because he's this 4 position or this mid hero that can go against Brood. You don't know what that lane is going to be if you're Alliance right now, and similarly Alliance Moranic is flexible between the 2 lanes. So
I'm a bit tilted personally because I talked with Insania after they lost in Hamburg because they looked great and they should have and could have beaten a lot of teams there.
Well, they looked great, you say, but they didn't do too great. They didn't manage to make it out of the groups, I think.
Correct.
Same as Vegas. They've had 2 terrible back-to-back lands.
And I told him, and he agreed immediately. I was like, you know what you did wrong? You broke rule number 1. He's like, yeah, we didn't pick any stuns. Exactly.
Hey, they still have a pick left.
But it's not enough.
Yeah, they're going to pick the hero that you just love more than anything. They're going to pick Monkey King. Boxy just
that's not a
loves
stun
hero.
either.
That
doesn't count.
How is that not it's an AoE stun. How does that not count as a stun?
Because it's like a DPS tool that...
You can't start a fight with it. It's not like a catch, I guess. So
I just can't wait to see them start a fight. The Wyvern's going to fly in. The Monkey King's going to leap in. The Brood's going to brood in. And
how do you get pickoffs is kind of like an issue right now.
Yeah.
Well, you got to land those arrows. And they still have 1 pick to go, which might not be Monkey King. But
it'll be Monkey King.
It will probably be.
But then you just run away. You run away. It's all
you
they
don't
put
run, you hit the arrow. You just Monkey King ult and you kill him.
You kill 1 guy.
No,
he gets relocated
you see
out.
VP's they're gonna go in, and then Monkey King ult comes in.
VP is gonna draft the Centaur, and that's gonna be the end of that.
Maybe you're wrong.
I probably am. I probably will be wrong. They ban out a TA on the side of Alliance. We of course still need the mid for VP, depending on if that Tiny is gonna be a no one. Because normally it's Pasha Tiny, right?
Oh, there's a. Okay, no, Bane is probably playing 5 position here.
Yeah.
So.
They have the option to put it on either, but I think that
do both.
No matter who plays the Tiny, it's going to follow the Brood around. It's just an easy 1-to-1 counter in a sense that Brood, you 1 hit from the tree and the tree throw.
Does that mean that you want Tiny to be played by the person that normally plays the Brood so that, you know, you can get them into the mind of the Brood mother, which is not Pasha?
No, you just put no one there for sure. He's played it before, and he knows how to play that matchup.
And I think it's also the preferred way VP plays around Ramses and no one.
They take the Pango themselves.
And they ban out the Centaur.
Yeah. Pasha's a good Pango. Seen plays here a lot.
No.
Maybe not boxy level, but that's another hero that deals with Brood. So
me and Moon have agreed the thing, you got to be a Han player to master Pango. All the best Pangos, Zai, Boxy, Moon.
Ice.
Ice played Han. Ice played Han.
No, Ice is not a Han player. You cannot claim Ice.
Tavo's Pango is a bit overrated, just saying.
Ooh, say that to his face.
He was one of the first to play it. He's not the best to play it.
Alliance is 1.
You were right.
Don't sound too surprised, Kyle.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm glad Bulldog's going to be right in at least 1 prediction this series because Alliance is not winning this game.
Kyle, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's probably
why you're on the panel and not actually playing anymore.
That's true.
You see, VP is an aggressive team.
Do you hear what you're saying, Bulldog? So people on the panel who aren't playing anymore.
I retired.
Yeah, I got kicked.
Really. He got kicked.
All right, gentlemen, I need to hear it.
I'll start.
Yeah.
VP will got their aggressive team. They got an aggressive lineup. They will go very deep in, and they'll get punished by Monkey King ult, and they'll lose the game.
Alliance will take it for Bulldog. Gods.
We're in for a great game of Dota, 2 great teams, but I think VP will take game 1.
I think Alliance, much as I love them, most players that are in Alliance at least, they didn't pick any stuns. They can't actually create skirmishes. Their only hope is that VP essentially run down the gauntlet of doom and feed over and over. So
I am glad we are going to have 2 impartial people talking about this game as well. Trent, are you ready for this one?
Cheever, we are excited. We are ready. I have to say I am on the side of virtus.pro. Trent, who you feeling here?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, this is Alliance bread and butter, though, right? This is like the Quake for Brood. This is what they've been doing. This is how they're winning their games. So if there's any hero that's going to give them a chance, it's the Brood.
Yep.
It's a very nice way of saying I also think virtus.pro will win.
Well, I just called you guys impartial. You're ruining it.
Sorry.
They are impartial. They're just right.
All right.
Exactly.
Have
that's
fun
not
with
good.
it, guys. We'll talk to you after the game.
Absolutely. All right.
Oh.
Well, let's hop into it here.
Right.
One thing I've learned, Trent, is never bet against a Wisp,
Well,
especially if it's in the hands of
I've
Virtus
learned
Pro. That's
never
where I'm
agree
going.
with Kyle, though.
That's
so
also
it
true.
kinda, you know, either way, who knows what's going to happen here.
Well, what do you think about the Broodmother this game? To me, this hero is always the big question mark. Generally, either really shines or falls flat. Do you think this is a game where Koikva is going to be able to do it?
Well, I know Insania is just talking about Ice Frog. That's all I see, so. Ice Frog goes. Thing about the Brood. Oh, jeez, I just hit a button and thought I paused the game. All right, we're good. Relax, guys. We're getting the gate kicks off here. But, so, in terms of the Broodmother, I talked about how it's something that Alliance have looked very good with. Basically, when I watch their games, it feels like Koikva plays his own game, and Broodmother's a very good hero for that. So he just controls the mid lane, shoves it in, farms the ancient camps, pretty much his whole deal. And then the side lanes basically play these like cool duos where they have a core farming protected by a support. If anyone tries to gank them, they get these turnaround kills. Now, what I absolutely love here by Virtus.pro is sending this Pango to the mid lane. The Pangoliers at Dream League thought it was the hero of the tournament. It looks so good. It's funny. I show up here and I start talking about Pangolier, and then I start mentioning it to Kyle, and he's like, "Yeah, actually, me and Sheeper were just talking about how we think Pangolier's gonna be the best hero of the tournament." 2 minutes later, Fog's tweeting like, "Guys, I think Pango's like really good." So we're all coming in here independently thinking Pango's like, this awesome hero that is gonna do very well here, which means he'll probably fail, but.
Okay.
The reason Pango looks so good at Dream League was that he kept getting these matchups versus like Enigma heroes, especially Enigma for the most part. But he's able to farm these Eidolons, he gets a really quick start, and he's so good with that early gold. And now this same situation where you're going mid versus a Broodmother seems amazing for this hero.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. I don't know how the Spiders are able to survive against that. Looks like we'll see some lane swaps, though. Boxy is going to head mid on the Monkey King. And that means Brood will end up in the top lane, I believe. Yep, he's going to be up there with Taiga on the Undying.
The fake out here in terms of the old mid lane.
Yep, so VP also adjusting. So we've got no one as well as Solo here mid against the Monkey King. Bane Tiny, a pretty dubious duo. And then up top we'll have that Gyrocopter Wisp for VP. So they've gone ahead and moved Pasha to the bottom lane where he's matched up against Mickey on the bottom.
Yeah, a little curious to how this game's going to be going here. Like, you're picking this Undying into the Io Gyro. Seems a little bit scary here to have this hero versus them, right? Just attack the Tombstone, still destroy everyone else around it. And they also have kind of a weird lane going too, where they have to run this Undying and the Broodmother together versus an Io Gyro.
Unconventional, that's for sure.
It's got no webs too.
Wisp getting whomped here by the Undying. I guess in these early levels, kind of not ideal for the Wisp. Mid lane, starting off pretty rough for the Monkey King. Insania did have to rotate, so we've got a proper dual lane here in the mid. Certainly advantageous for no one on the Tiny.
Oh, Tiger.
Okay.
That's the first blood there. I mean, you are at least versus a strength hero, right, in the IO. So that is one nice thing they have going for them.
24 strength stacks on Taiga, so that'll do it. That poor Wisp. He's already pretty low on HP, no armor. You steal that strength, and it's bad news bears.
That is 320 HP on that Gyrocopter right now.
Yeah,
he has gotten so many decay steals.
Straight up cannot trade with this Undying. But this is what you expect. You know, this is where Undying really shines in these early laning stage scenarios. And he'll start to fall off as some more levels come into this lane.
Yeah, he's probably going to have to go feed his body to a tower soon. Like, he's completely out of mana. I don't think he wants to pop out those mangoes.
Well, he just ate one. Although now going to be in some trouble. The Rocket Barrage comes through. I think he'll be able to survive through this.
Yeah, he's got a Soul Rip too. They could try and turn this, but...
Yep, there's the Soul Rip. Tops him off a little bit.
I'm setting the lane with the most action. Everywhere else just battled the CS. One that Posture seems to be winning down the bottom lane versus the Marant. Things going well. Not so hot for Mickey, but, you know, ranged hero versus melee hero with the Quelling Blade.
It's not too bad either, though. We're on at 13, Pango at 15. Wisp going to go blow for blow with Taiga. This is going to be a close one. I don't know if Roger's going to win this battle.
I mean, he is tethered, though. He never has a really big concern.
That's true.
Well, Taiga's going in.
He's another mango. Oh, Ramsey is able to punish that time. Very nice.
That was questionable.
A little overzealous. But well played by Ramses to be there in time. Meanwhile, on the other side, it's going to be a kill onto Insania. Solo taking credit for that one.
2-1 set things off here, and it's only 7-1 now for this Monkey in the mid lane. Yeah, these lane swaps not looking like they're favoring Alliance too much here.
Yeah, so they've got the Undying mid now, and it looks like they've sent the Winter Wyvern back down bottom. So that's going to leave Koikva solo to deal with this Wisp Gyrocopter. Kind of musical lanes here, but maybe indicative of this draft that Alliance has. not sure what the ideal setup for them is here.
I think we're going to see more swaps once the levels start stacking up on Koikba. We'll probably see him go mid, because like, you really want to abuse those ancient camps as Brood. Like, what's the point of picking this hero if you're not farming ancients really early and accelerating the game, right?
Yeah. Definitely a hero that wants to play from ahead. No doubt about that.
Pasha has to hop into the trees down bottom. He's very low. The Arctic Burn, they're close, but at the same time in that mid lane, you can see Boxy getting low.
Yep. So down bottom, they're going to kill Pasha first, and back to mid. Monkey King in a lot of trouble and gets finished off by Solo, who is going to be able to survive. 1-for-1 around the map. Fairly even Pango for Monkey King. Feeling pretty okay for virtus.pro coming out of this laning phase, though. I think Monkey King, the big question mark for me right now.
Yeah, this hero certainly feels like one of those ones you want snowballing very hard, right? Going towards, I mean, I'm not a big fan of this battle period build we've been seeing from some of the Chinese teams, especially Aster, been into that a lot lately. Yeah. More into like a Shadow Blade, Echo Saber sort of style.
Yeah, we saw that abysmal Battle Fury game yesterday. And it obviously can work in some scenarios, but it gives you this extended window where Monkey King just feels very abusable. You know, very squishy, doesn't really do that much damage.
Nice dodge from Boxy there.
Yep. Kind of a necessity, I think, to maintain some presence in this lane against the 23-7 Tiny right now. Rotation from Insania, though. Level 3 Winter Wyvern. 2 points in that Splinter Blast. Looking for potential opening here. I don't know if he'll find it, though.
Yeah, Pasha's finding these little side pulls down bottom, so there's nothing that Insania can really do there, as the wave just like pushes under the tower, so he tries to make an impact mid, doesn't have anything there. But it will mean that the bounty room battle will begin, and Pasha, well, he's going to get denied here. He'll get both of them on the bot.
Yeah, I think he might have stolen a neutral there, though, before the bounties came out, so not a complete loss. Meanwhile, mid lane, Monkey King caught by an avalanche. Now the Nightmare. No one, low on mana, no bottle charges, but could still be a kill here. Boxy does get healed up by the Soul Rip, and maybe they'll turn this around. No one falls, and now Solo follows suit. 2 down on the side of virtus.pro as Alliance turn it around and keep their Monkey King alive.
And a nice early medallion also picked up here for our Broodmother. Koikba's doing just fine, holding his own versus the Gyro. Gyro's doing really well. Obviously, Ramsey's getting a couple spiders, so the net worth isn't that brutal. The spider's actually ahead, despite what you're seeing in the last hits, because those spider links and spider rights are just not worth that much anymore.
Yeah. Still a lot of them, though. It does add up over time, but you're right. The CS chart is very misleading.
One thing, Roger keeps stacking this camp, too, which I think is kind of interesting, where he's like constantly pulling it over and then trying to farm it. But Koikba, I know at least once, has taken that away from them, so they have to be a little cautious about that if he can abuse the timing on the flat cannon. Because, again, he just got that stack off, so...
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind like seeing a rotation of some heroes to try and protect it. It looks like they're going to bring Solo to try and take it. Make sure, like, put some vision down, watch the spider.
Yeah, Solo dropped the war, but now he's smoked up and rotating towards mid lane. 2 points in that brain sap.
Tiger just wraps around behind them. On to Ramsey's up top here.
Oh, looks like Ramsey's going to be able to make it back. Meanwhile, mid, Solo sets up the Nightmare onto Boxy. No one on the way in, and Pasha's even made the rotation. Makes it an easy kill on the enemy Monkey King.
I kind of wish they would push this wave and tombstone that stack, but I guess with the ward, they'll be able to protect it. Flat cannon from Ramsey will grab only a couple of the spiders, so not very successful on that one.
Yep. They are keeping Koikba at bay, though. I mean, Koikba's not doing poorly, but certainly seen those games where Brood just completely shuts down the lane, so feels okay for virtus.pro right now.
Yeah, Gyro's catching back up and has surpassed the Brood at this point, too.
Yeah. For Alliance right now, this Mirana is the only one that's farming really well, outside of the Brood, of course. Number 1 on net worth right now. Basically just has a free lane since Pasha rotated. Looks like Wisp is going to come down, so they're going to pull a full lane swap here. Ramses and Roger.
They've left that triple camp up top now. And now the spiders is diving Solo.
Peculiar. Pasha's here, though. He's going to clean up some of the spiders. Koikba diving past the tower in relatively deep, but it's a Broodmother. Plenty of webs around. Now TP's out, heading to the mid lane. Dive onto No One. Solo going to make the rotation. It's a 3-on-2. Nice toss from No One. Keeps himself alive. No kill for Alliance.
So this is the match that they feel like they've been waiting for forever, right? Where you actually have the Pango versus the Broodmother. Not something that Koikba really wants to get into.
No, definitely
Can't really dive the Pango too easily. Very good turnaround potential.
Especially once the Pango has some experience now. Level 7, maxes out that swashbuckle. Very difficult for the Brood.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what build he's going to go for. It looks like he's just going for like a blink and some auras, so not with that, but...
Yeah, fairly standard. Vanguard queued up. Some more rotations down bottom from Alliance, though. Taiga and Insania trying to keep tabs on this gyrocopter.
So one thing that I really liked about virtus.pro in their prime is that it always seemed like they're very good at allocating like who needs the most farm in a game and like understanding what everyone's role is. So especially when Posture plays as Pango, this is probably the most active that he is. I feel like he's kind of a little more passive on like this Enigma and stuff like that, but on the Pango, he needs to have a game where he's just running around the map and getting kills. And he needs no one to help him out with that. No one just trying to get things started on the Boxy there. For that last punch. Oh, it's getting a little dicey there.
The Jingu Mastery. This is the problem with Monkey King. You do not want to trade blows with him, and no one will survive. But all the while down bottom, Mickey able to secure the kill onto Ramses. Solo coming around the backside, but
got clowned on.
Can't do it. Okay, this laning stage actually ending up pretty well for Alliance here, Trent. Got a 1K net worth advantage at 9 minutes.
It is a brood draft, though, so it's kind of like, you know, how much of an advantage should you really have? And how much do you have to fall back on if this Monkey King doesn't start catching up, because he is the lowest of the cores.
It's a good question. I guess Undying kind of doubles down on that same sort of mechanic. You should definitely have a lead at this stage or things are going to be pretty rough. Nikkei taking a little bit of rocket barrage damage here, but nothing he can't deal with.
Pasha ends up being the one who grabs that whole stack up top, too, so that's quite a bit of gold going the way of the Pango.
I think virtus.pro had a plan the whole time, Trent. Stack it up, pull the lane rotation,
it
and
was
let
an
the Pango
investment.
solo it. A little risky, you know, the Brood had an opportunity there, but hey, it worked out.
Yeah.
So Brood has now ended up back towards the mid lane, trying to dodge that Pango. Boxy's gone back up top. These are like the most musical lanes in the first 10 minutes I think we've seen so far.
I mean, that just comes from the preparation of virtus.pro. Like, they picked 3 cores that are good against Brood. I mean, most teams, they end up with a draft where the Brood Mother comes out because there's no cores good against the hero. But knowing that Alliance kind of rely on this Brood, I feel like for a lot of their good games, that they're well prepared for it.
Moonlight Shadow deployed, but a great scan from Radiant. They've also got a ward down, so relatively aware.
This poor Brood Mother just like hasn't farmed Ancients. It's not a Brood game. You're not farming Ancients.
Not yet. Does he have any stacks or anything? Nope. Okay.
And he's behind his Mirana. I mean, I don't even think that's like so much as a credit to Mickey. Obviously, he's having a very good game, but the Brood should still be ahead in any game that is looking good for a Brood draft.
Yep. More pressure onto Ramses in that bottom lane. Stays alive this time, but not an easy laning phase for this Gyrocopter.
A lot of these gyro games come down to like that. Oh, we had a ulti from Pasha where he attempted to like cut some trees, get a 4-second stun with the rotation of no one coming through, but they couldn't quite find it.
Yep.
But a lot of these gyro IO games, they come down to the jungle rotations and just trying to get all these stacks, get the golden, mostly experience up on that IO.
It will inevitably come down to that one defining mid-game fight where Gyro will either sink or he will swim.
Yeah, and then a few more stacks done up for them. Whoa! Whoopsie. Ramses missing on that one. That's okay.
Well,
Roger's got him covered. You know, he got at least one of them.
Yeah. Bane also closing in on level 6 here. He's going to pick up the tome, so that will secure his level 6.
Yeah, he just walked by with the smoke, though, past those wards. A lot of vision in here from Alliance, so they should know this is happening.
Yeah, good ward coverage for both teams, actually. Alliance with 3 revealing this enemy jungle, and virtus.pro prioritizing that top lane a little bit more.
Insanity's here to back up Nikkei. It's a long wrap, though. They're going to see the courier. No one's going for it with the haster in the tree. Got him.
Very nice.
And now Nikkei's on the run. No Moonlight Shadow here.
Oh, Insania going to be the one that potentially gets caught, though. Trying to fly over the tree line. No one. Searching him down. Mirana caught by the Fiend's grip with the Winter's Curse. Not quite close enough to interrupt it. They're definitely going to find that kill on Mickey and likely onto Insania as well. Nightmare sets it up. No one now in hot pursuit. Still a little while till those cooldowns are up, but what's a poor Winter Wyvern to do in a situation like this, Trent?
I believe die.
Yep, I think that's going to be the case there as the tree chases her down. 2 kills up for virtus.pro.
I like the flying popsicle there of the cold embrace of the dying Mirana.
Well, a little bit of space for Koikba. Finally getting some time to kill these Ancients, as you were talking about, Trent. Diffusal Blade, very close.
Unfortunately, he can't get it right away because Courier's dead.
Oh,
yeah.
Bummer.
I'd like to see this Pango getting some kills, though, Pasha. Let's go. Where's my, my feisty Pango hero? This guy doesn't want to be farming the whole time.
Yep. So pressuring that Monkey King a little bit. Foxy, lowest of the cores, but his farm isn't that bad. Definitely still room to recover. Pasha playing some Ring Around the Rosie. Pump fakes that Rolling Thunder, and Monkey King will make it back. And speaking of Monkey King, looks like he is going to go for that Shadow Blade build. At least has it queued up right now. I like that a lot here.
Yeah, me too. I think he should be ready for the active playstyle of the Tiny and the Pango. Needs to be able to respond. He doesn't want to be battle furying it up. Like, what's the point of going toe-to-toe in a farm game versus IO Gyro? That doesn't feel very good.
I'm with you on that one. Blink Dagger up on no one, though. A turning point for Tiny. Pretty good timing there. See if he can find some pickoffs. Maybe This will initiate Pango to get a little bit more active. He's also getting relatively close to his Blink Dagger, about 2/3 of the way there.
Talk about how deep that vision was for Alliance, where they're kind of like covering up that whole mid lane box. You can see similarly in the bottom lane, VP have just been watching the vision inside their own jungle, because Mikke is trying to play really aggressively right now. He's trying to rack a bunch of kills on this hero. When you play Mirana, you just want to start slaying people, right? You're like kind of creating some space and everything. So they always have a good idea of where Mikke is, and more importantly, the supports that are there trying to help. So like whenever they see this Wyvern fly into the lane that the Mirana's in, you know they're trying to set something up. And so they're always just backing away. They just have Solo sandbagging down here. As he dances around the pillar.
Yeah, mid-tier 1 does get taken out. Looks like we'll see an engagement. Pasha charges in with the Rolling Thunder. No one follows up. Mirana is going to get caught. She'll go down first. Fiend's Grip on the Winter Wyvern, getting knocked all over by the Pango. It's a great fight for virtus.pro. They bring down 3 as well as the Tombstone and completely punish that aggressive rotation from Alliance.
That is quite the combo. That's like a... It's like a self-Yules on the Pango. When you toss him up in the air like that, he gets a secondary stun off from the Tiny. Interesting.
Pretty cool. Big gain here for virtus.pro. About a 1,600 net worth swing. Still a small advantage for Alliance, but definitely a little scary.
Oh, this poor Broodmother, as you can see, Scriff pointing out. He's like, all right, you got Treads and Diffusal Blade. Just chilling in the stash, you know. Yeah. Exactly where you want them when you're trying to farm up, right? Who wants acceleration based on your gold that you've been earning?
Yeah, Diffusal wouldn't have made any difference.
No.
19 seconds on the courier, though, so it'll be inbound before too long.
Did you know that the Eye of Skadi was guarded by the Azure Dragons?
No, but I did know that Tiny's lack of base armor means he's very susceptible to physical attacks and armor-reducing abilities.
Wow. That's very eloquent of you to just bring that up out of nowhere.
Yeah, those armor mechanics, man, they're pretty mysterious. Oh, my. Tiny has an invisibility rune in the bottle, by the way, and a Shadow Blade queued up next, so it seems no one will continue to play Hunter.
Yeah, he's been runing it up. Feels like he always haste rune and everything.
Yeah, Tiny's a scary hero if you have rune control, that's for sure.
Solo correctly pointing out where there is a enemy ward. Just tags it up there, so we got ourselves a little replay there from Solo setting up this fight. And Pasha rolling through a nice leap over the cliff. This is where we get the toss, right? So it targets the unit closest to you, and you can't target spell immune units, but he targets the Mirana with the toss. That sends the Pango back up in the air, and you get the secondary spin bounce.
Yeah.
Very nice, cheeky little play. I mean, he was dead anyway, but it's just a cool interaction.
Now we'll see Taiga TP into his shrine, put to sleep by
that
Solo,
arrow,
but
though.
the arrow actually connects. Nicely done.
Bane
Will they be
Mirana.
able to file up on it?
Betrayal.
And
Best friends.
I think Solo is going to end up going down. There we go. Very nice.
Not how you usually think of the Bane Mirana combo. Sets up so many of those, man.
Yeah. Definitely a little concerned by the lack of control in general on Alliance, though. I know the panel mentioned that a couple times. Not really a great setup for the Arrow. Arrow and Winter's Curse. Those are your big stuns. So a lot of pressure on those two heroes.
They always say that if you feel like the worst team in your opponent, just pick more stuns. And so that's why it always comes to the forefront of Kyle's mind, because that's kind of how his whole career went. So he's every panel. I feel like he's just pointing out those stuns. So
pick more stuns.
That's the life.
Definitely the secret to winning pubs. Pick stuns.
Stuns are good.
Well, now the Maelstrom's out on Mirana. Mikke feeling the benefits of that last kill. DKB going to be up next. Very standard stuff there. Having a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, can't really flame him for that one.
No.
Looking A-okay. They get this really early medallion, so I wouldn't mind some Roshan opportunities soon here, but around the pit is very dangerous versus the Pango, who went Blink first.
Yeah. So we'll see a push up top, it looks like. Alliance posturing like they will want to mount a defense here. Currently a 3-on-3.
This will be their first tier 1. They can actually get it outside of virtus.pro.
It looks like VP is going to relocate down bottom. Boxy, he's been caught by the Fiend's Grip, and that could be the end of the Monkey King. They've got a Dust, they've got a homing missile, and the Monkey King has been put to rest. Now back up top, Pasha, Rolling Thunder, Moonlight Shadow also been deployed.
He's just protecting the relocate.
There's been a TP back up. Io caught by the Winter's Curse, but Winter Wyvern will end up going down. Now Ramses call down, ready to do some damage. Wisp barely surviving. Roger actually lives through it all. Now Taiga goes down, and Mikke barely able to survive through the swashbuckle.
Man, what a great play over by virtus.pro. They just play him like a fiddle. They put this full pressure up in the top lane. Alliance brings everyone there to defend, and the Monkey King's waiting for the fight to actually kick off before he's going to TP top and try and like throw down an ulti or something. So what do? They instantly relocate down bottom. The Io-Bane combination, it is one of the most picked combos for a very good reason. You just set up for these relocates so easily. It's free kills. and then they just come right back up. And I love the way Pasha used that ultimate early from the Pangolier to help protect the relocate from Roger coming back in. Made it so the IO didn't just instantly die as Alliance were setting up for it. And then the TP from Ramses where they're like, okay, Gyro didn't come back with them. We can take this fight. And then suddenly Ramses shows them like, oh shit, he just TP'd back up here.
Yeah. So a nice little bait play there. Close call for Roger, though. Barely able to survive that engagement. Definitely getting some dividends there. He's got his buckler picked up, finishes up his magic wand. This is a pretty wealthy Wisp. Actually, the leading farmer in terms of the 4 supports.
Well, yeah, very good game for him so far. And also just keeping that experience high. Very important on the IO, and pretty easy when you're not dying. So
I want to talk about this Monkey King a little bit here, Trent. Boxy has changed his mind. He's now picked up the Maelstrom in lieu of the Shadow Blade. Now with the BKB queued up next. What do you think?
It's more of like a, it's more fighty than the Battle Fury. It's been pretty common as
Well, what about the Shadow Blade, though? That was the original.
Yes, I mean, the Shadow Blade's like the most aggressive, but then I would say the Maelstrom's like the middle ground, where it's like, it can be a little good in fights, and it's a cheaper item to start farming. It's like, I'm not fully investing into a Battle Fury, I'm getting one sort of farming item that's smaller, and then I'll go for a fighting item. So
You think the BKB second's the right choice here?
I think so. It's a lot of magic damage and control. Like, you have to worry about this Tiny and Gyro. Like, for now, the physical's not the main aspect. Whoa. No one in there with that true grab.
Yeah.
Little dicey.
A little close. I guess always a little nervous to see that item prioritized so much against a Fiend's Grip. Especially that last kill we just saw. BKB wouldn't have saved him there. At least not most likely.
Oh, mid lane there, Pasha.
Doesn't
swashbuckle for a couple.
He's going to be able to Rolling Thunder away, though. Also does have the Yule's Scepter up on Pango. So.
Gets a tip from Ramses. Great work pressing that R button, buddy.
Rolling away. Now up top, Sania takes a homing missile. Now a call down. Ramses wants this kill onto the Winter Wyvern. Winter's Curse does come out. BKB already up on the Gyrocopter, gets used. He's going to pursue here. They will find Insania. Possibly more, though. The Moonlight Shadow's been deployed.
And look at Solo. He's way back there.
He's looking for the wraparound. He says, hey there, Mickey. There's a Nightmare. Maybe Fiend's Grip on the way. Those some rotations. Solo playing it safe right now. Back towards the mid. Looks like another fight's broken out. Set up onto the Koikba Broodmother. They're going to try to chase him down. They catch a stun. Do they have the damage, though? Taiga trying to heal him up. They brought down Solo, but this fight's looking good for virtus.pro. Wukong's command, maybe it's enough to turn. No one barely survives as he tosses him to the low ground. They will end up bringing down Pasha.
That setup looked like Alliance were going to win that fight, honestly. As Koikba like, kept getting the heals going. There's no Boundless Strike left, and that arrow will not fly through the creeps, but he would have been out in time anyway. But like that tombstone from the high ground, and you're being protected there with the soul rips, but just not enough to keep that Brood up and going, even through the ultimate. That would have been a really good turnaround potential there for Alliance. But they get a couple kills either way, so.
Ends up okay for Alliance, but still virtus.pro holding on to the momentum right now, as well as the net worth advantage. Take a look at the replay here.
And this was the Yules just coming in from the Pango, too. Had he had his ultimate, this fight would have been much easier this side of virtus.pro, but there you can see Tigers from the high ground trying to keep things going. But
great positioning from that Undying. And unfortunate for Solo, it looked like his positioning was going to be really good to start off that fight, but ended up kind of costing him as he was separated from the rest of his team.
Yeah, and then Roger relocated out alone, it looked like. Didn't have anyone with him. So.
Now, bottom lane, Mickey going to be in some trouble. Solo does have the Fiend's Grip.
Hello.
There it is. Now follow-up from Ramses on the way.
Oh, he's out of skills, though.
Might still be able to get this. It's going to be a little bit close, though. Tombstone comes down, and yeah, there are going to be enough reinforcements that virtus.pro will be forced back, and now Solo is going to be the one that gets left behind, slowed down by the Arctic Burn. Nice use of the Nightmare, but not going to be enough for a survival. Although, potential wraparound, no one with the Shadow Blade on. Blink Dagger, he's going to find Mickey. That's a freebie. Great positioning there as Taiga will just head back. Can't do much to punish that.
Pasha and Boxy hanging around up here. That'll just give him the Yules and run away. Oh, that looked like actually kind of a good moment there for Alliance, and suddenly you just lose Mickey, and we've just lost it all again. So no one just getting that first couple kills with the Shadow Blade, and now into the Echo Saber very soon. Still no chance at a Roche here for Koikba. He's 0-1-2 on a Brood that's gone Medallion and Diffusal, so it's
not ideal.
Yeah, it feels like you just want a couple more kills, this sort of a build.
He's picked up BKB now, so maybe the catalyst to turn him into some more team fights.
Yeah, that could be huge. If they try and force a Roche fight now, and they can, number one, stop Pasha from getting a blink in. And that's much easier said than done. Like, this Pangolier is very maneuverable. He might even just, like, swashbuckle on the pit and start his ulti or something, so it's very difficult. But if you can create that fight around the pit and you can just BKB and kill Roger right away, that would be really good for them. The only problem is Roger's going to buy back on his IO, and he will re-enter the fight.
Yeah. Roger's also very close to mech, about 100 gold away. Huge item on the Wisp.
Yeah. That double heal is ridiculous.
Yeah, makes this gyro so much more difficult to kill in these team fights. Down bottom, no one. Hunting Insania. Might have enough for a kill here. Womps him first. There's the combo, and yeah, more than enough. That tiny.
That's a mega kill streak now. 5-1 and 5 for no one.
No one been playing this very well. Just feels like virtus.pro are controlling the tempo of the game right now. Yes, indeed, and making the case even more. Monkey King caught by the Fiend's Grip. A 4-on-1.
Nice chain stuns.
Moonlight Shadow been deployed. Looking for more, but Alliance will make it out. Pasha actually does not make it out himself. TP gets interrupted. Taiga pops the ultimate, and they will be able to finish him off. Alliance find a recovery kill.
And they're going to kill mid. Quick, but he's just running at Roger. Go, go, go.
Roger might still survive, though. Quick, doesn't want to go too deep. He knows there's reinforcements on the way. Ramses as well as no one. No one a little bit harder to spot out. He's got the Shadow Blade on. Broodmother stunned up in the trees. No one trying to find him here. Solo also pushed back by that Arctic Burn from Insania. Close one. Kind of a heartbreaker for Koikba, though.
Yeah, he doesn't want to waste his 10-second BKB just for killing the IO, or if like he's the TP out or something, or...
Yeah, but there does come a point where we're 24 minutes in. He still doesn't have a single killing blow on a hero. 0, 1, and 2. Got to kill something at some point, man.
Maybe he's a pacifist, you know?
Maybe.
All these spiders
a
getting
conscientious
squished.
objector.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what he's going for. Oh, Solo's doing his thing again. He's like, oh, Monkey King, come on down to the lane. But
he does
Solo
not have
has been spotted on a ward, too.
Yeah.
Who needs Fiend's Grip, though? There's a relocate in 30 seconds. he can just hang out.
Now, Taiga also inbound here, though no one. Feels like he's just always in the right place with his Shadow Blade. Taiga going to bump right into Solo. They'll have a little kiss, and then no one comes in with the big damage and says, good night, zombie. The zombie apocalypse will not start today.
Pasha not going to find the Blink Yules there.
These pickoffs are really starting to add up, though, Trent.
Just feels like kind of a weird game for Alliance right now. It's like, what is your Broodmother contributing right now? It's like pushing out waves and everything, but it feels like every time virtus.pro just walk to a lane, they get a kill.
Yeah, I'm having trouble visualizing the path for Alliance to really take control of this game. You know, start making some proactive plays and not just react to the movements of virtus.pro.
It definitely comes down to like getting an Aegis and then just putting yourself in like number advantages and taking over that top half of the map. It's like playing in here.
Well, maybe an initiation up top. Moonlight Shadow used. Monkey King. Wukong's command does come out. Now Yule's Scepter, though, from Pasha. He's going to use the Rolling Thunder and jumps right in to break up this team fight. Pasha all alone, and he's going to head back to friendly territory. Slight missed opportunity for Alliance. They might be able to get a Tier 1 tower out of this, but virtus.pro, they're not going to let it go for free. They pop the glyph, and they come back. Winner's Curse, very nice onto the Gyrocopter. Might secure the retreat, but Solo on the high ground. He's got the Fiend's Grip, and that will finish off the Winter Wyvern, and maybe even more. Boxy's been brought down by no one. Koikba will just BKB TP. Now Mickey has to try to run away from this Tiny. Meanwhile, Taiga getting chased down by the homing missile.
The courier?
The courier goes down as well. What started as an okay fight for Alliance is now turning the other way. Mickey will be able to make it back, but I think this Undying is going to be done for as Ramses and Roger chase him down. 3 plus the courier down for Alliance. Ooh. They don't get a single objective or kill.
And guess what comes next?
The Roshan shutdown.
Yeah, they can just run right into this pit. Easy peasy. My God. All right, I kind of like what Alliance did, right? They got some vision on that bounty rune. They tried to take a fight. Bounties are one of these things that force teams to move to certain parts of the map. You can kind of predict it, try and take a good engagement, but they couldn't get the instant kill on Pasha. He gets the ultimate off. That breaks up the fight. And then they still kind of like litter around. Like they feel like that's their only hope back into the game, and then there's a really bad curse. And it's just awkward, but they're going to try the Roche fight. Oh, Boxy's in. He's going to get it.
Does he get it? He snatched the Aegis. He gets the Roche and the Aegis, though it gets burned straight away. Now Koikba in a lot of trouble. He gets brought down. Up on the high ground, the Winter Wyvern will also fall. Boxy not going to be able to survive as he comes back to life. It's a great snipe, but in the end does not work out in favor of Alliance. Now trying to chase down Mickey. Pasha blinks forward, hits him with a swashbuckle. They've got a homing missile that's going to continue to chase him down. How deep do they want to commit for this?
Oh, they're
going. And it seems they want the kill. Pasha and Solo are in hot pursuit, and they will be able to finish him off or not. BKB gets used. That's the 10-second charge, and Mickey will survive.
Huh. Solo didn't go with the follow-up Nightmare. Interesting.
I think that's still a victory, though. Forcing out the 10-second BKB defensively, transitioning into a Tier 2 tower. Not ideal for Virtus.pro. They would have loved to have that Aegis, but it definitely worked out for them in the end. Replay.
Yeah, I mean, you can imagine if they actually had the winner's curse, right? You get this leap in here from bot. I mean, for one thing, they might not even win in the pit if the winner's curse is there. But like right there, if Insania hadn't wasted that winner's curse earlier, that whole fight could have been different. There would have been a chance to actually save Boxy before the Aegis. He gets down the ultimate. There's maybe a fight that you can actually play in there for the side of Alliance. But they felt desperation. They went in anyway with their big team fight ultimate. Yeah, punished hard.
Brutal stuff. Nearly a 10K advantage for Virtus.pro, 24-10. As we get close to that 30-minute mark, things starting to look a little bit grim for our Dire squad here. Alliance really going to have to dig deep to turn this one around.
It feels like it's an Alk game where he's like middle of the pack, you know what I mean? Like this Broodmother is just
great analogy.
12K and you're like, eh. And it looks kind of okay. It's like, yeah, I'm the top of the team. 13K net worth, guys, but
they've just played around this Brood almost perfectly. I think Koikva's done a pretty good job, but they haven't given him any openings for
they
free
drafted
kills.
around it. Like, they premeditated a Brood, and then they still picked the Brood into it, and the Brood just, it can't win any of the lanes.
I mean, even the way he's itemized, right? He got BKB. He didn't want to use that charge to kill the Wisp. He ends up using the 10-second charge just to TP out defensively. Down bottom, Winner's Curse will set up onto the Pango. Arrow did connect, and they're going to be able to find a nice pickoff here. Step in the right direction for Alliance.
Yeah, bit of a kill streak there, too, for Mickey, so little sad trombone there for Pasha.
Yep. Koikva, like an MKB coming up next. I think in response to that gyrocopter butterfly that's already been picked up, and he's not that far off a Satanic now.
Boxy's so poor, man. How long has he just been on this maelstrom? Ugh.
Yeah, this is turning into a pretty brutal Monkey King game.
Like not the hero of the tournament, I think.
Yeah.
I have not had a good Monkey King game so far.
And I'm just not convinced that this BKB is going to be a big game changer. So far, all the BKBs that Alliance have picked up have been relatively underwhelming.
Well, unfortunately, there's like, I mean, it's too late at this point.
Yeah, he's committed, but it's just seeing how it's gone so far makes me wonder if there's something else that he could have gone for. Like, you know, the Shadow Blade is high risk, high reward, but at least gives him that opportunity to get in the back line, start fights. It gives them something.
Yeah. It's just like this BKB would have been really good like 5 minutes ago. But anyway, Fiend Script now used on to Mickey.
And Ramsey's going to be nearby. Solo will survive on the low ground. Mickey gets the cold embrace, buys him some time, actually gets off the BKB as they turn on to Solo. It's a good fight for Alliance. Pango and Tiny not inbound as they will relocate away.
They're
back
coming
up to the top
through, though.
lane.
They have to be careful. Like, I'm sure Pasha sees that low HP Mirana, and yeah, she will just instantly retreat to the shrine.
Well, it's just one pickoff, but I think Alliance will take it.
Another BKB charge, though, as you said, for the gyro, so that at least helps somewhat.
And for the Mirana also.
Yeah,
true. That's her 9-second charge down. I think Koikva got away without using his BKB in that fight.
Oh, Courier. Finally, they get the Virtus.pro Courier.
Oh, there we go.
That was the Satanic.
Hey, wow, that's some pretty heavy cargo.
He was only 100 gold away from the Reaver, too. That's what he was picking up.
Well, that's a bummer. Now Pasha could be in some trouble. Bumps into a lot of Alliance heroes.
There's the arrow.
Winner's Curse comes down. Arrow from afar does connect. The BKBs get popped. Defensive Nightmare maybe buys him some time. This Gyro doing a lot of AoE damage, but Alliance are surviving through it. This is the Monkey King 10-second BKB.
Are they back?
They are committed onto Ramses right now, and they will finish him off. Roger trying to tether away, but it's going to be an uphill climb. Can he get out of here? Arrow, it's going to be close. Shaved some hairs, but not enough to survive as Koikva finishes him off with some spiders.
Nice job of forcing that fight when the BKB wasn't ready for the gyrocopter. A little risky because yours also wasn't ready there for Mirana, but it worked out.
I have to say, Trent, I was completely wrong about the BKB. That was the item for the Monkey King there. Let them take that fight, and all of a sudden we've got a real game on our hands. That was a 4K net worth swing, and now they're going to get a tier 2 mid.
Yeah. That's happens when like the Pango is very important for these team fights, so locking him down instantaneously here
is this
pretty important.
Going to be a tier 3? Buyback available onto the Gyro, but Wisp and Pango.
You can see how it started out too. Just like Pasha just instantly insane, he gets the target down on him. There was even a leap from Mickey to help set up with that arrow too, so really nice stuff there from Alliance.
Yeah.
And at that point, there's just not enough damage. Like the magic damage comes out from Ramses, but
back in the game, Solo goes down. They dive past the tier 3. He's going to buy back now. A lot of respawns coming.
Oh, they're just going to guard the racks.
They want this, though. Alliance is pretty committed. They're going for the melee, and I think they're going to be able to get it. Melee heroes starting to back out. They're going to let it go.
They have faith in that catapult, but their faith was misplaced.
Wow, 19 HP, and it's going to slowly regenerate back up. Heartbreaker for Alliance.
Oh,
but
my God.
A huge sign of life. See all these items getting picked up now. The Aether Lens on the Winter Wyvern. I think there's a Yule's Scepter now on the Undying.
Smoke, though. Oh, maybe they're not going to smoke. I thought they were going to TP smoke right now, but it's going to run out. Like, they've left this ward inside the base. See if VP spot it.
Yep.
He's going to spot all these movements. That's what saves Boxy. He sees them all coming up top because of this.
Very costly hold for virtus.pro, though. This game is leveled out now. Net worth.
Oh my god, I can't believe they didn't get that melee Rex. That's like such a huge economical blow if you can do that, right? Like it just instantly destroys the income that you're getting from one of the lanes for the rest of the game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're going to get a gem soon probably on virtus.pro if they win one more fight, I would guess.
No one maybe looking for a setup here. Arrow flies through. Moonlight Shadow's been used. Solo, now the one initiated on. He's going to get brought down.
I like that targeting there from Koikba. Just ignoring the tiny, just recognizing that. Take the easy kill.
Yep. And he also just bought back, so it's a long time in the grave.
They're pinging that mid lane. They want to go.
They want Pasha. Koikba comes in now. Pasha's going to be in a lot of trouble. Rolling Thunder away.
Hey, Stroon. Drive by.
Wow. That's fortunate for the Pango. Okay. MKB also up on Koikba now. So this Brood is pretty scary. Her right clicks absolutely demolish.
That Satanic is coming out now, though, for Gyro.
That's a good point. Important to note in that last fight, his big item was stuck on the dead courier.
Yeah. Oh, wow, they're keeping that vision on the high ground, too. This is so sick for Alliance. This could set up for Insania, but he gets initiated on.
Insania goes down first, but BKBs get popped. Pasha in the back lines. He gets brought down low. Ramses is surviving, but now the Wukong's command comes out. Ramses' BKB is wearing off, and they just want the barracks. Looks like they'll probably be able to get it. They're splitting back onto Ramses. This barracks is still standing. No one comes back in that back line doing so much AoE damage. They still didn't get the barracks. All 4 down on Alliance, and it's soon to be 5. Koikba on the run. Virtus.pro with an incredible hold as they relocate forward and secure the ultra kill for no one. Talk about your all-time backfires.
Oh my god. I feel like their faces are currently on the desk right now for Alliance. If I was Insania, I would just be so broken.
This melee
There
barracks.
were 5 heroes so clumped. Like, he was so ready for that Winner's Curse, and no one just slayed. Look at Insania. Look how hungry he is. And then just obliterated. Oh, my
Brilliant
God.
play
They would have
from
won
no
that
one, though.
fight.
Yeah.
If he gets off that curse, that fight is all Alliance, 100%.
Absolutely. No one set the stage
and
for
this
that.
Spirit Vessel afterwards on Ramses, too, was really scary. Like, he's not getting any of the heals going on once that gets propped on top of them. Koikva's running after him, but then no one shows back up and gets a triple kill at the end. That splash damage on the Taiga and Mickey.
It completely worked against them, though, because they wanted to commit to the barracks, and they said, oh, we've got the Spirit Vessel. We can absolutely kill this Gyro. They clump for that. Then they try to head back for the barracks, and they just get stuck together.
Are they really going to lose their barracks first?
I think so. Buyback sparse here. Monkey King will respond, but mid barracks will go down. VP want more. They're going to head top this tier 3, taking a lot of damage. Glyph is still available for Alliance.
The Moonlight Shadow, but they're still just going to defensively pull back here from Virtus.pro.
Wow.
Oh, I could feel their pain. I think it's coming down from the upper floors.
Yeah.
From the team room.
Wait, look at that gold graph, man. What a kinky curve that is. Maybe we'll see a fight, though. No one. Perhaps in some trouble. Does get dusted. It looks like both sides will just back off and let it go. Unbelievable.
It really is. Virtus.pro, the classic. So at this point now, that firmly puts control back in the hands of VP, and we have a Roche respawning in about 5 seconds here. So the little green diamonds at the top of your screen are mostly there, just missing the Moonlight Shadow. So with the Winner's Curse, they at least have a chance to fight around the pit, but that gem is there for Virtus.pro, and that's taking away a lot of the vision here. Well, most of it's actually expiring right now from Alliance. They haven't quite found it, but...
Some scary items, though, getting picked up by VP. You've got the Daedalus coming out on the Tiny. Wisp is actually really close to a Lincoln Sphere. Very good mix of defensive items as well as very aggressive damage-dealing items. Even the Gyrocopter, he's got the Demon Edge now, so looking to transition into his next big damage piece.
So there was a spider in the pit, and they went in, they killed the spider. So Alliance know about this right now.
Yep. And VP know Alliance know about this.
They know that they know that they know that they know.
This is a true war of attrition here, but will Alliance be able to get into the pit? Maybe they'll be able to snipe it again. Arrow connects onto Roche.
There's that Yule's combo from Pango, all on a quick one.
Out comes the Wukong's command on the back line. Roger gets popped straight away. There's the buyback to get into the fight. Ramses trying to do the damage. He's going to survive with the Satanic BKB. Alliance are dropping like flies. 4 down. Boxy, the only one left alive. He's going to jump up to the trees. They might not be able to find him, but Roche will go down to Virtus.pro. They'll pick up the Aegis. No, actually, it got killed by Alliance. Ramses technically snatches the Aegis. But obviously not the team fight Alliance was hoping for. Boxy will get chased down here as the homing missile will follow him to Earth's End. And they should be able to just finish him off
Oh, it's
here.
close.
No. Okay, Boxy gets the lifesteal a little bit with the Boundless Strike.
Oh, what a talent. He's out of here.
From tree to tree, the King of Monkeys will live. But a very small silver lining, despite what we just saw there in that last fight. Now up at the top lane, it's VP looking to take another set of barracks. They force the Glyph and a buyback from Mirana. Creeps are in the mid lane, so no backdoor protection available.
Yeah, no one's still just kind of... Look at Solo. He's just bullying Mickey here, just saying, huh? You want some of this? Ramsey just continues his slaughtering here.
Tier 3 falls up top. Remember, Aegis in tow for Ramsey, so can afford to be rather aggressive here, trying to focus down that Tombstone. Homing Missile comes out onto the Undying. No Soul Rip to save that Tombstone. Now the range barracks fall. Melee under assault. No one on the way in. There is a Sentry Ward down, though. They're pinging him out.
That'll save him.
Spirit Vessel. Oh, BKBs get used. No one still in some trouble, taking a lot of right clicks. He could end up going down here, but no, Roger with the save tops him off, and they're going to bring down 3 of Alliance. This could be close to a GG moment. 2 in the grave without buybacks. Undying, Brood, both of them get back into this game. They're desperately trying to hold, but Pango intercepts them, and the GG is called. VP take game 1 in this best-of-3 series, 36-18.
Man, Alliance, they almost found this game so close. I mean, maybe even if they got that Rax, it might not end up being the victory for them, but at least could have put them in like some sort of position to keep control over that Roche pit. But Virtus.pro, just unbelievable teamfight execution there, especially from no one. Like, I feel like that guy just absolutely slayed this game. 15-1-9.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
And it's not even just the kill score, but also his ability to set up those fights, be in the right position at the right time with that Shadow Blade, that key fight in the mid where they defended, finishing off that Winter Wyvern. That was the play that started the whole fight there. Absolutely incredible. Well, let's hear what our panel thought after that topsy-turvy game.
Topsy-turvy.
Topsy-turvy indeed. Virtus.pro take the first game of the series. And, you know, I think we need to check in with the Alliance specialist here on the panel. Bulldog, you mentioned before the game started that Virtus.pro, you know, in typical CAS fashion, was going to run in, and then Alliance was going to, you know, take advantage of the mispositioning from Virtus.pro and take the game. But then, around, you know, it looked good for Alliance, and then at some point it was Alliance running in, and they got caught out by Virtus.pro, and it just didn't happen the way you said, dude.
It kind of did. I think I was the closest one to being right here, because the people on my panel, they're like, well, VP is going to win easily. They didn't win easily. That was not an easy game at all. Even Gaben agreed with me. If you look at the meter, Alliance was winning in favor almost all game.
That's true.
But then they went middle and they forgot to kill her X.
So even with Alliance losing, Bulldog was right with his prediction. We were wrong, is what I'm hearing.
Pretty much.
That's what I'm hearing too.
I was right.
That I haven't laughed harder at a Dota game in a long time. But watching the Delta split Monkey King jump away the Raxes at 20 HP, God, that was so good. Like, I had Loda's behind me with Bulldog. And he's just like, no! And I'm laughing my ass off.
I thought it was pretty rude, to be honest.
I couldn't help it. I love the guys on Alliance. I just, please, for the love of God, pick some stuns. You can even see the way they're looking to take this fight. What's the plan? Broodmother's running in. Here's a Wyvern. You know, Boxy makes this great play stealing Roshan, but it's just, now what? Like, Mirana, he's Mickey. You can't enter the fight as a Mirana in this position.
This was great, though.
Yeah, this was their only way of initiation. Like Bulldog, this is just how Bulldog drew it up, actually.
Yep, Winter's Curse, your arrow. You set up a good team fight. You get the first kill, and you go on for the next.
Yeah.
That's.
VP just man up here, and then they got to run.
It's always tough when Winter's Curse is your way of starting a fight, because that means you're not really using it to counter the IO gyro. It works this fight just because they caught VP out by surprise, and then it was like the domino effect. The first guy dies, save your buddy. Next guy dies, it's the gyro.
Look at the win probability as well. Look, Alliance, you know they're doing it.
And I don't think anyone should be doubting Valve.
Yeah.
They know what they coded this, so it's actually accurate.
So it's accurate.
I was closest to being right.
So it was an upset this game.
Yeah, it was an upset for sure. You see here, I don't know what's going on here. They're like, let's get out. This is the second time, I believe. No one want to finish, and they're like, yeah, let's go back. Let's go. Oh, it's too late. We're all dead.
You actually see Taiga, you know, he's punching that rack once, and he's like, nah.
It's just like, my team, why did you chase this gyro? Koik was like, I'm going to hit the range rack just because I'm too far away from the melee racks. Like, it was tragic.
Oh, that was just very tragic. Although, to be fair, if they would have gotten the melee racks, Would that have changed the outcome of this game?
And during that second attempt there, absolutely not.
No.
I mean, losing 5 heroes at that point to get a melee Rex, it was not going to be worth it. But the first time, it could have helped. Like, you know, you're going to get more map control. That lane's going to keep shoving itself out.
Io buys back and saves the day.
I don't think it would do anything because Alliance never is going to be able to push out lanes as effectively as VP, and it's just pace. VP's pace is unbelievable. You can't catch their cores. They're constantly able to immediately kill creep waves and sweep the map at all times. You're reliant on where Broodmother and her army are, and you only have Wyvern ulti for catch. And you never want to play a game where that's your method of starting a fight. You want Wyvern to interrupt somewhere in the middle and turn it for you or find that next kill. It sounds simplistic, but just pick stuns. Have some way to activate these great star players like Boxy and Mickey. Let them actually impact the game.
Yeah, it sounds really easy. I mean, this is what you implemented when you played, right? Just pick stuns, and then it didn't work out at all.
I would say it worked out a lot better than my replacements' ideas. You got to do what you can with the talent you've got.
Wow.
You give me Mickey and Boxy for a couple of months, we'll have another conversation, Bulldog. Maybe you can come on as my coach.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. But yeah, Alliance, obviously the underdog here. It's a hard match for them to win. Being the underdogs, and like, how do you go into a game like this, knowing that you're playing against a better team? Kyle, you should probably know this because that's like every game you played.
Yeah.
You always played against a better team.
Yeah.
So how do you like mentally prepare for something like this?
I think you just got to play to your strengths. I think Alliance did do that. They picked comfort heroes for every player, I would say, like one of their top 3. It's just, you know, all the pieces just didn't come together. But
yeah, just pick more stuns,
Pick
and then
more
they'll
stuns.
win.
I mean, it seems simple enough. Any final thoughts on the games first, guys, before we jump to a break?
No, I think it was definitely Alliance showed they can compete here. But I mean, VP looked like VP. No one on this tiny 15-1-9. What a great showing from him. And they were just so well prepared for the Brood pick. I think the Brood was the hero in the draft that I kind of questioned with Alliance because VP, no Alliance play it. They left it in. They had plenty of counters for it, but Pengo and Tiny are like 2 of the best, and they don't have any Brood problems this game.
And you could even see in the team fights, there's so much more ability for VP to sustain the Wisp. Like, they have a Crimson Guard at a certain point, and now it's just, unless you catch them off guard like they did with that one fight they won and almost took Rex, you're never going to take them in a clash.
Well, they have another chance in the second game of the series, which will happen very soon after the break. Welcome back to the Kuala Lumpur Major, and you are in the middle of the group stages. Well, we are in the middle of the group stages, and you're joining us for it. Thank you for joining us for that. And we are in the middle of a series. It is Alliance that is up against Virtus.pro. It is 1-up for Virtus.pro, not for lack of trying though, but according to some people on my panel, it is a quick, simple solution for Alliance to turn this around. All they need to do, according to Kyle, is draft stuns, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
A general rule is that if your hero is incapable of movement and your keystrokes do absolutely nothing, it doesn't matter whether you're Ramses, Bulldog, or just some 2K scrub. You know, you can't move.
Where does
Can't
Bulldog
move.
fit in that spectrum between the
Somewhere
2K
in the
scrub
middle.
and
Somewhere
the-
between the
Okay.
It could be a compliment.
I mean, you're on the spectrum somewhere.
I'm at the top. Do you know my rank? I'm like rank 40 in EU.
That's a pretty good rank. I mean, it's not bad, I guess.
No comment from that, Kyle.
No, I think that's good. That's good for Bulldog. You know, it's good to celebrate your achievements. Did you get a medal for that, or like a check? Does it direct deposit? Because
No.
Valve pays you for that, right?
No, they pay me to be here. To keep the game alive. That's what they pay me for.
Okay.
So I know you just get paid for PGL, but I get paid from PGL and Valve.
Really?
Wow.
I don't know if I believe that. You've been wrong about a few things today.
Maybe I'm a little bit biased. Maybe.
Just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. I mean, yeah. Talk to us about what Alliance need to do.
Well, I don't know if you want to draft Mirana first too. That here is a little bit iffy, in my opinion. They're probably going to switch up their here picks a bit, bring back the Chen. Their Chen is pretty legit. Or if they really want that stun, their Earth Spirit is Taiga is pretty crazy on that hero. And then you have your stun that Kyle so much won. Great movement as well. That hero is a little bit risky though. I keep bringing it up. That hero, if you miss those ganks in the early game, that hero is just really bad.
Would you agree that they need some more stuns?
I wouldn't mind some more stuns. So you
Okay.
pick Chen and then you can pick 3 stuns.
If you
That would
want.
work. That was the draft they had when they nearly took a game off Vici, when they should have 100% won the game. Boxy was playing Brew and didn't get split off 3 consecutive fights that they lost, or they would have won for sure. But I think Alliance plays the Chen Furion style better than a lot of teams right now. They're at least like top 3 when they have those.
Okay. Gods, do you think that Virtus.pro is going to be focusing on one portion? Because previous game, they won. Were they just happy with their performance? Is there a point where they think, we gotta do better there? Because that they're one of the most self-critical teams out there.
Felt like a first game of the day VP, decent performance, not great. Like that to me wasn't VP playing 10 out of 10. That was like a 7.5 out of 10 VP kind of the kind of play they need to beat an alliance team, particularly with those drafts, I think. And it's not as simple for Alliance to just pick stuns because VP is going to have a solid draft. They're going to have stuns, and I think the challenge for Heroes Alliance is figuring out a way to catch VP by surprise.
Yeah. I felt like, especially in those couple mid-game fights that they lost, they just weren't prepared in a way. You saw Pasha setting up that kill that led to his inevitable death with just a really aggressive Yules. His whole team's far away, like relocates down. I think if they play a more controlled game, it would have looked a lot smoother for them.
Yep.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't be in a position in that game where they have a 25% chance to win, that's for sure.
They were being very confident at times. Like even early on in the mid lane, the Tiny and Bane
Confident
died.
or cocky?
It's,
That's
a
just-
fine little dance between the two sometimes with VP.
That's just how VP plays. They're an aggressive team. And Alliance abused it last game, and that's why they were ahead so much, according to Valve. Ahead all game. I don't know how accurate that was, but
And did the bans change at all? It looks like VP is taking out Wisp because they don't want Alliance to get it for obvious reasons.
Alliance are first pick. Morphling gets banned first stage this game. Last game it was banned out second stage.
We also have a PL ban was untouched previous game,
Tiny
and that
as
means
well.
that Enigma is banned out, but Axe is also banned out.
Hmm.
Kunkka, still in the pool, was banned out by Alliance previous game. So was Phoenix, was banned out by Virtus.pro though. And the Weaver was also banned out previous
Man,
game.
I feel like Alliance is still just behind the patch a little bit. Phoenix was super picked at the minor, but did not have a great win rate. Same with in Hamburg. And it just fell off, much like Mirana. These two heroes just kind of disappeared in a way. And here we are with Alliance, like first 2ing it.
We saw Phoenix a lot in the first series yesterday, and then it was just gone.
So the TB with the Morph PL band is like the one big carry of those three still in the pool, and they instantly get a response to Phoenix alongside it.
Yep. This is pretty scary.
You ready to make your prediction now, Kyle?
I mean...
Look at Noah. Noah's like,
oh,
Victor
first two.
Oh, yeah,
Double down.
They're confident with this hero. They played a lot.
You know, I'm going to get myself comfortable on the couch. I'm really looking forward to the performance Bulldog pulls off to try and convince this alliance to win this game.
I got nothing yet. I need to see the other picks.
I mean, if Bulldog doesn't have anything, then, you know, it's not good. Could it be a trap, you know? Is it you think you know what they're going to do, but secretly they got something else planned entirely.
They banned out the Tiny this time, so as far as solutions to Brood go, Magnus once again banned out.
Yeah, but Tonka's in the pool still.
Not anymore. But this is fine. You know, they picked the Silencer to counter the Phoenix. Obviously, he's never going to get the Dolt off properly. Brood doesn't really care about Silencer. So Alliance, they're probably going to pick up the Brew for team fight because it's solo playing the Silencer. He's not fast with his fingers. He's not going to get ult off before.
What do you mean?
Excuse me?
Don't you remember that Oracle play from Epicenter where he got a Ravage with his Oracle ulti before it hit him?
He got lucky.
He did it 3 times in the same game.
No, they're going to pick Brew, and he's going to ult before Silencer come off, and they're going to win the fight. It's going to be a long fight, then the egg comes out, and they're going to win the fights. That's what's going to happen. Predicted.
Okay.
All right. Very confident.
I mean, I think it's the right move, because if you make these crazy, bold predictions and they're right, you get to look like a genius. You know, you're Nostradamus. But if you're wrong, it's like, well, I was kidding.
Yeah, Kyle, you know a
Just
bit about
me.
this. Your J-Storm predictions yesterday against Secret. Yeah, J-Storm had this. Secret's going down.
You mean just the predictions yesterday? I mean, I remember the minors not really going all too well over there.
When you're a player, you need to worry about being right. When you're on panel, it's all about the entertainment value.
Is Solo just drafting from a couch? He's just having Arseek sitting on his chair, and he's like, you know,
sleeping?
Yeah, wake me up when it's done.
He's really taking Alliance seriously.
Very unprofessional. Very unprofessional.
This is his comfort mode.
Disrespectful.
You gonna make a post on Reddit about it, Bulldog?
I will.
Wow.
Well, this is VP in a nutshell. I feel like every event, you know, when they're drafting, someone's asleep, they're laughing at the table.
And that's why they don't win TI. They're lazy. Lazy.
They win everything else.
Maybe it's because they're comfortable in all the other tournaments and in VP in TI. Yep. You know, they're just thinking, oh, we got to focus fully, and they're not in their comfort zone anymore. But I mean, this clearly looks like a comfort zone for Solo.
We with TB is a bit of an interesting pick.
You think so? Why?
Yeah, it doesn't really solve the Brood issue right away. It does give them a second way of killing the egg alongside the TB. But I feel like with TB Silencer, you've already kind of addressed the Phoenix enough. But I mean, it's not going to be a one-position Weaver, so we're going to see some kind of eventual Aghanim Scepter, so it gives them a save.
Yep.
What are the answers for Broodmother that are still in the pool?
Monkey King's probably the most common one, but I don't think no one's a big Monkey King player.
I don't think you really need a hero to address that. There's so many heroes that just does fine against Brood these days, it feels like. You even see like Tinker just go there, he's fine apparently. So I don't feel like you really need a counter mid.
You just need to be willing to pick up 2 shields, right? Because I've seen that's how Morphlings beat him. Same with TB. I actually think in this game, you're just going to put the TB against the Morphling. You have a near...
TB against Brood, you mean?
Sorry, yeah, against Brood. You have like a 20 base damage advantage, and Brood doesn't do any damage until massive amounts of spiders.
And even when Brood starts like cutting the wave and farming, you're a TB with 20 armor. You can tank creep waves. You don't care if your creep wave isn't there for you.
The average game length is so long right now.
Yes.
That's
but that's
Group
Group B.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aster, Vici, TNC, and EG.
Yeah. Crazy.
They had a lot of 60, 70, 80-minute games.
Don't worry. I think virtus.pro is going to try to, you know, take something off that time.
Yeah. I like Alliance. You know, they picked a stun.
Yeah, they did.
Concern is it's a very weak laner. I don't think it synergizes too well with the Broodmother. And it's against Silencer. And both of Alliance supports right now are just hard countered by the silence. They will just be worthless in a fight. And I'm concerned.
I'm not.
I mean, but I think it's very easy to say, like, most stunning supports are going to get countered by a silencer. That's just what this hero does. Like, what kind of hero is not countered by this silencer? Like a Treant Protector, maybe? Like,
an Earth Spirit, something with reach, more so than a Shaker, where even if he gets the Echo off, you can silence on top.
Okay, so it puts Weaver into a 4-position role, more likely.
And it's also a Crimson Guard buyer.
Yeah,
and
this
it's
makes
great
more
against
sense.
spiders.
Yeah, you get a core who's good against you want really 2 cores who can lane against the Brood most of the time, not just have 1 core that has to follow him around, so that if Brood swaps lanes, he'll be like, well, you know, these lanes are still okay for us. And that's where the Weaver pick, I think, didn't totally make sense, but as a support, it's a lot stronger in their draft.
Yeah, we'll see what Alliance is going to pick up here. I still like the Brood, but they're still, like, they're religious about their Monkey King on Boxy, so I wouldn't be surprised if they just pick that up. They just pick it pretty much every game to the point where it's actually bad.
What else do they like? They also like their Legion Commander, right? I feel like I've seen Boxy play that quite a bit.
Yeah, it has happened.
Wouldn't be a bad game for it.
It's not great against Weaver, though, if he gets Ags.
Very true. And I think that's another concern right now with Alliance, is that especially Earthshaker, it's all about finding opportunities to kill somebody in that stun combo. And Weaver Ags is the ultimate breaker of that. And all of a sudden, you'll blow an Echo, but it's for naught, and then the Terrorblade's half HP with Sunder up, and you're afraid.
But it's a Weaver supporter. That here is so slow, and it's so bad support. I hate it as support. It is awful as a support.
Is there a chance that they're not going to run it as a support?
Centaur mid, let's go.
Nah.
And you could do the TB mid that was mentioned against Brood, Centaur off lane, Weaver safe lane. It's unlikely.
I like it a lot of support in a game against Brood Shaker and take Monkey King again.
Another Monkey King.
There's
head shakes on Kyle.
Look, it's not about the draft so much as it's just the concept they're bringing to it. It's like you're playing VP, right? Why run the same exact strat twice in a row? You're heavy underdogs. Try something else. Like, see what you're good with. Experiment.
But they were winning last game. According to the stats, they were winning.
Plus.
And he's good against the laners here. 2 melee heroes.
We had a discussion yesterday where it was, there's 2 ways to go about this. Either you can play what you've practiced all these weeks before this tournament. You can go with what you think works and you stick to it, and you know that it has worked before, so you're going to do it again. Or you lose with it once or twice, and then you're like, okay, let's see what the rest do. Let's see what the big guys do, and copy that and try to do it better. But the reality is, if you're going to do that, you're never going to be as good as the team that has practiced with it months and weeks before. So you got to stick with what you're strong at, even if it doesn't work right now.
The thing is, I don't know if this is... I think Alliance plays Chen and Furion just so well that there's no reason not to try, like, Chen specifically in a series against VP.
They do play a great Chen, but I like what Shiver's saying is that Alliance need to play Alliance Dota. They're not going to beat VP saying, okay, we can't beat VP playing our normal stuff because they have us figured out. Let's go try some new crazy stuff. No, that doesn't work. Play the kind of Dota that got you to this major, that helped you win, do well in that qualifier. This is their heroes. I mean, it's different to the Chen and stuff. This is very classic Alliance. The Phoenix, the Brood, the Monkey. These are all heroes I associate with this team right now.
No, I mean, I'll give you that. I just don't know if I would have put them all together twice in a row.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think the issue is, having a very similar draft 2 games in a row, at least the 2 core picks.
But they solved the problem. They picked stuns. They got the stuns this time.
They got a root too.
And now they got mana to spam those stuns as well.
Ooh, we're going to see
a
core Shaker or
core Phoenix? Boxy, I think, is more Phoenix than a Shaker.
So Monkey going to be played not in Boxy's hands.
No. Mickey also, going all the way back to Han, you had to ban Monkey King because that hero was in Han too. Had to ban it against him every single game.
That means Phoenix and Shaker are the same lane, right?
Yeah.
That's a decent lane. Fairly decent.
Yeah, it's good. And putting Phoenix as a core as well is pretty important, because if you don't have a core Phoenix against a silencer, you're never going to get an egg off. But now you're going to get some farm. You're going to be able to break the silence with a Lotus Orb or something, and you're actually going to be useful.
There's no one going to play. Last pick.
Oh, they have no one. Uh-oh. That's fine.
Here, that's fine against the Brood. Gives them catch. Great against Monkey King. This is a really nice pick.
It's only no one Storm. That's no problem. Just kill him.
Is it good enough?
Yeah.
Boxy Shaker, actually, so looks like that.
Cool.
Okay.
Course
All
shaker.
right. Course shaker. Kyle, I'm going to ask you first. Do I need to ask you?
He's
You
a
don't need to ask one of them.
I don't need to ask a Bulldog because production already chose for it.
I feel like, I mean, you could break down why VP's draft is great, but like that's tier 1 Dota in a nutshell. When I watch Secret Draft, it looks very similar. They're on comfort heroes. They can itemize to cover their weaknesses. They've got enough reach, save, push, creep clear, etc., etc. It's very balanced alliance.
They solved their problems now.
They did.
This is the game.
This is not the game.
This
VP
is the
wins.
game.
Gods. The tiebreaker. It's you. A lot of pressure.
Whoop, I'm going to pick VP.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick VP. I'm an analyst, by the way.
Actually, yeah, you're right, Bulldog. I'm an analyst, by the way, guys. I'm going to pick VP as well. Thanks, Bulldog, for the help.
What would you do without him?
I know. I was a little confused what my job was and what I was meant to do. Yeah. And Bulldog had my back. Right, what a
Came
good guy.
to you. Well, let's hope for another topsy-turvy game.
God damn it.
Thanks, production. It is over to Sayori and Trent for game number 2 of the series.
Thank you very much, Shiver. Excited for game 2 of this series. A Crystal Maiden versus a Silencer, Trent.
Wow.
I am pumped to see what these fives do.
I mean, bold call by Gauze there to go for Alliance in the end.
I know.
really like that he's risking the biscuit. You know?
Yep. Are you on Camp Bulldog here? You think this is Alliance's game?
No.
No. All right.
Okay, well, I will say, Storm Spirit hater here.
I know. That's
sure.
why I thought you would be for Alliance this time. And plus, you're a Crystal Maiden kind of guy.
I am.
So.
It feels the same as last game, where it's like, you know, if I were to look at some drafts where Alliance might actually win, that might be it. But I don't know. It felt like that last game too. But
yeah.
Where's who is Observer? Where's my Observer?
I don't know. That's a good question.
We'll find out.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So do you think this is a game where the Storm can shine, though? Or maybe a better question is, what does Storm need to be able to shine?
That's not Scriff at all.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's good. He's prepping up. Let's getting some monster.
At least he's
good
ready,
call.
right?
Yeah. Okay, bye now. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, bless. Scriff's still here. Oh, jeez.
I'm glad they found Scriff. I guess he was hiding somewhere. Whew, close call.
Yeah, it's a good thing there's no banner invites anymore. We can just watch that instead.
Yeah. Looks like it will probably be split 2 apiece. Taiga is fairly deep in enemy territory right now, but will be able to get out unscathed after dropping a ward down to block that camp up top again, using an observer here rather than a sentry.
Yeah, at least that one gives vision. Sometimes people like hide in the trees and still use obs. It's always like a little bit odd, but
yeah.
Interesting build. Just like starts with a Windlace and Salves, a couple tangos. The HP problems of the old Phoenix. You can't really go for any of the stat items.
But Trent, talk to me about Crystal Maiden here. I don't think we've seen too much Crystal Maiden. What's the current state of this Frost Lady?
I mean, they just got 3 bounty runes because they only set Taiga. They just have this like Monkey King and CM just like chilling back here because they don't want to reveal the lanes. It's kind of interesting. Okay. Current state of CM, pretty good 5. I think the 5 pool right now is like there's a very top tier of basically like Bane, I guess Phoenix probably, and then Wyvern, and then it's kind of everyone else is pretty low after that. So you can just grab these other heroes, and CM helps enable you early on in the game. In this game, she can help deal with the illusions a little bit with Crystal Nova. Just like the attack slow is pretty sick later on when you're being spammed by all these TBs and everything. She's a root versus the Storm, so it's okay.
Well, now Roger going to rotate up top. It's a little pressure onto that poor Crystal Maiden.
Yeah. I mean, her aura is like the only skill that really matters with this hero anyway, right?
Yeah. Well, not at level 1. All about the Q now, Trent.
Well, I would hope you're not getting aura level 1 ever. Please don't do that.
Well, it used to be the Ice Cube level 1 was the
yes.
old, the old style. Until that Purge video.
Thanks, Purge.
Thanks, Purge. Down bottom, we've got the Boxy Earthshaker with the Phoenix here, being played by Taiga up against the Solo Silencer and the Ramses Terrorblade. A little bit of a rough start for Ramses here in this lane. Not able to get too much CS.
Yeah, but
actually going to be stunned now by Boxy.
But what is happening at the same time? Oh, Solo has grabbed the wave. Dota 2 at its finest.
Well, it's going to be all good for Ramses then. Not to worry.
And this one thing about TV too is that he has so much armor that he just does not care, like when the creeps come in like this.
Yeah,
he just tanks them, can micro the wave and everything.
Yeah, this mid matchup going very well for no one right now. Obviously, the CS score a little inflated with those Spiderlings 14-1, but Brood 6-0, not really having the best start. Not the easiest lane matchup either.
Yeah, this is just a hero. For some reason, he has 6 armor. No one's quite sure why. Yeah, this guy hits the gym or something. I don't know. Or those clothes that he wears are secretly infused with mithril or something.
They've taken a lot of things away from Storm, Trent. You're going to take his armor, too?
Just seems so odd. But anyway, so he does A-OK versus the Brood and the better heroes. Just have to make sure that he's good. In the rest of the game, and as of late, the Storms have not been looking too hot. Even the no-one Storm has been having some rough games. So I do think the panel was pretty cracked, though. In this game, it looks pretty good. The one thing he's be concerned about is this is a core shaker, so if he gets that early blink dagger, he's gonna be hunting Storm pretty hard.
Right.
Just find him like standing in a wave, standing in a neutral camp, and might just get slam jammed.
Mickey doing much better on the Monkey King this game. Down bottom, Taiga taking a little bit of harassment. Always feels good to have the silencer against Phoenix. Hard to use that Icarus dive the way you want to, and now Solo might almost find a solo kill here. It's going to be a close one. He pops the healing salve, it gets knocked off, but I think it's going to be just enough to survive, and yes indeed, 17 HP. Taiga will live. Solo, though, he wants more. Another healing salve used. 2 salves for that first blood.
That's fine. Secure the first blood before the Earthshaker, which I think is probably the best hero on this team to get it, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mid lane,
though, no one very low, but gets the kill first. Advantage for no one, absolutely.
So sick, honestly. Like, you want to die right there.
Down bottom, Boxy now, he's going to be in trouble. He picked up the first blood, gets immediately punished. Solo with the +2.
Man, we got some tips back and forth, too. You know, respect. Quick, but no one.
Respectful tips.
Yeah.
And, oh, Taiga.
Yeah, he just feeds it here, too.
The free TP back to the well.
Yeah. And BD. Creep pulls in both lanes. I mean, Roger's just doing it in the top lane. Oh, he actually just misses out. He's going to suicide first. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh, if he hadn't suicided quite there, almost could have sniped that courier, but not quite.
Courier with nothing but an orb of venom for Mickey.
Okay.
Funny.
2 intentional deaths here. The free trip back. Very even laning stage so far. Much better for the Monkey King this time.
Yeah, this time Mickey gets the plate instead of the Mirana, so.
Mid lane, no one. Rotates, and that's going to be an easy kill. This is the time where you need to punish that Storm.
Just to get tri-laned mid with a Brood, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, what is that?
I mean, the window to pick on Storm is before that level 6. Up top, Roger taking a lot of damage from Mickey, and I think this is going to be another kill. Only a level 1 Shikuchi, long cooldown. Good stuff for Alliance, 5-3.
Showing off the power of this Monkey King pick when you spot a couple lanes that you can do well against, make it hard to find a good matchup. And now even on a Pasha.
Is he going to live through this? Nope. Just charge forward, Mickey. This mid lane is turning disastrous, though. No one, only level 4 right now. Koikba halfway through level 6. He's just going to intercept the jungle here. He knows this is where Storm wants to recover, how precious that farm is.
Oh, and Taiga gets both bounty runes bottom, too. Okay, Alliance are popping off right now.
Big wins for Alliance here. He is going to get punished, though. They're going to be able to finish him off, I think. Bugs connect, and Ramses will get another one up on the scoreboard for VP. But Alliance should be pretty happy with that. Now back up top, Pasha uses a double edge, and Sania comes in with the Frostbite Crystal Nova combo, and Mickey brings him down again. Killing spree for the Monkey King.
Well, this'll work.
Wow.
And look at this in the jungle. Koikba, he is in full hunt. He knows this is that time where Storm is vulnerable, and look how fast he goes down here. This could be another solo kill for Koikba under the top tier 2.
Punishing Storm before level 6. Alliance on point, and they get the kill on the TB.
Yep.
I mean, sure,
ends up going
Solo
down
gets a -2, but there's another Fisher here in 1 second. Solo, ooh, he just ditches.
Yeah.
Or rather, he misses.
Oh?
Yeah, he's going to live.
He's going to be just fine. Still amazing stuff for Alliance, though. Really, all 3 of their lanes going pretty well. Mid, the one going the best, but Boxy getting a lot down here. Ramses will go ahead and use the Metamorphosis to try to reclaim some momentum in this lane.
Now, I know Bulldog kept bringing up the fact that Dota Plus was loving Alliance, but even now, with a 3K lead at 6 minutes, it's still going to have a 67% win rate to VP. So it turns out they're actually Alliance
effect, I think.
Haters. Yeah, I think so.
Terrorblade and Spectre, man. Dota Plus is a real soft spot for those two. This is a much better Brood game. The early medallion, 3-1 and 0. This is kind of what we were hoping for last game.
Well, you actually get to play mid, right?
Yep, that's true. The lack of musical lanes, I guess, has really favored the Brood Mother. Roger, though, making that rotation mid.
Look where no one is. This is pretty cheeky. A clever little play. He's farming like the one safe spot on the map where no one's ever going to be. Mind you, Roger is dying for it, essentially, but...
Yep. Insania with another good rotation, and I think this mid-tier 1 tower is going to be done for here.
So last game, they obviously kind of saw this Broodmother coming. It's the Quake special. It's the Alliance game plan. And they had 3 lanes that made it pretty impossible to play. This time they picked a lane that it's better for the Broodmother, but it's also like Storm Spirit just has such rough lanes that this is one of the lanes where you can do like kind of okay, but it got way out of control.
Now Storm going to be scouted out by Insania, the level 4 Crystal Maiden. Might be a free kill for no one, but nope, Taiga comes in, and now all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1. Not much mana to zip away, and no one is going to get punished once again, trying to pick off Insania beforehand, but does not have the damage. At least he's found his level 6. Still brutal stuff for this Storm Spirit.
I feel like all my Storm hatred is just being confirmed right here.
Yeah.
He is still top of the net worth for the Dire side, which is really not a good sign because he's 1-4. What's going on in the rest of this game?
I mean, right now for Virtus.pro, this is just a battle of who gets to farm the jungle. Ramses is desperately trying to find some recovery farm. Up top, we are going to see Mickey initiated on. He is going to get silenced. Pasha with the rotation in. Will they even be able to finish this off, though? Insania with a nice frostbite. Now a TP in from the Phoenix. They're going to try to turn it around the other way. Pasha getting very low, hit by the Fire Spirits. He's going to get left high and dry by his team, and a dominating streak now secured for Mickey. Oh, Solo.
Yeah,
he's also going to get caught by the Boundless Strike, and it's a double.
That is a level 8 Monkey King at 8 minutes and 20 seconds. You really can't get off to a much better start.
Level 9 Brood, level 8 Monkey King, level 7 Earthshaker, only level 6s on the side of Virtus.pro. This is getting out of control very fast. It's a 6K net worth lead at 8 minutes. And is Storm going to die again here?
Dota Plus is finally a believer. It has put Alliance in the lead.
Koikva doing what he can, trying to finish off these illusions. About half mana on no one. Still has a few bottle charges as well as a salve. Going to be able to survive. Koikva still asserting his dominance here. And very quickly closing in on that Diffusal Blade. Great item to have against Storm in this kind of situation.
So Koikva has been constantly body blocking one of the camps here. Like, as they go
down bottom, are they going to get this kill onto Boxy? Going to move into the trees?
He's trying to find a slam. He's trying to like set something up here with like the Phoenix wrap around, at least like create some sort of an opportunity, but they're not quite 6 yet on Taiga. But
good positioning though.
So
Mickey gets that tower.
What Koikva constantly keeps doing is that he leaves spiders in one of these camps. He'll body block one, and then when he sees someone farming the other, he just comes over, contests it, and takes it.
Yeah.
Just like over and over, he's been doing that here. So no one's able to farm this spot, and that's why this Storm and TB are both so poor right now.
Solo. Uh-oh. Koikva's going to find him. It's a level 10 Brood versus a level 4 Silencer. This is a pretty sad story.
This is not the dire part of the map. This belongs to the Radiant.
And now Pasha comes in, a pretty low HP Centaur, though they do have the Shrine available. He'll go ahead and pop it to heal up. No one says, dude, I wanted the mana. Oh, slam. They're going to kill Roger with that. Boxy sets up a Solo. VP all clumped up here. They're actually going to be able to find something. Koikva charging in. They'll use the Stampede. They get the silence. Koikva might have bit off more than he can chew.
No one gets the kill, too.
Alliance going to have to retreat. Both supports. Battle for the Arcane Rune. No one just falls a little bit short. Now caught by the Frostbite. Taiga, low on cooldowns, but I don't know how deep they want to pursue here.
I mean, Solo can kind of chase forever, right? Because once he curses him, he can't dive.
That's true. The hard counter. But Mickey, he's made the rotation, and now Solo might be regretting this dive. Taiga will survive, even had the Shrine to top himself off if need be. Roger does find a kill in the mid, so that's nice, but Alliance with the rotations. Massive lead still at the 10-minute mark.
Yeah, they still get some net worth going back their way, though. And all of it onto the Storm Spirit, which is 100% the hero you want. Meanwhile, though, he's out of mana in the mid lane. Mickey hops through. And a little bit of help from Taiga.
Just as no one takes a step forward, going to be another step backwards as he burns down to the fire of Taiga.
They just walk away. They just let it go.
Wow. Alliance in great form this game. Boxy getting a lot of space. Really good farm, but he's not going to go for the early Blink Dagger, Trent. Instead, he's got the Aghanim Scepter queued up.
There are no roots. Not really anything too concerning. The only problem would be theoretically the last word, right? Mm-hmm. But other than that, he can just keep on hopping.
Sania with a nice Sentry Ward down. Forces a time lapse out of Roger. As Alliance did try a smoke rotation there. I guess Could also say good play by Roger to disrupt that rotation.
One thing that's really nice about the Agnibs is that it takes the presence of the hero away from the Echo Slam and puts it on the totem, which means that you don't have to play around the cooldown quite as hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And still gives you the mobility, obviously. See a fight break out here, perhaps. Weaver pressing forward, drops some bugs onto Taiga. They've got that Broodmother nearby. Looks like they'll try to set up onto Insania. Stampede used and Crystal Maiden down. Can they get more? Koikba stunned up by Pasha. And Taiga getting chased down by the Storm Spirit. Out of cooldowns, but does have an egg. Uses it at the last second. On the other side, Pasha does get brought down. Koikba still able to survive. Storm Spirit, he'll get killed as well.
Oh my god, that Echo Saber.
It's a 2 for 2. Let's take a look at the recap.
Yeah, it's 2 cores versus 2 supports, though, so it does go the way of Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Despite their massive lead.
9K now, 19-9. Treads now coming out on this Broodmother. Solo still only level 5, the only hero not to have his ultimate, and it's obviously a big one for virtus.pro.
I have to ask myself, though, can I confidently say that I think Alliance can win this game? And I can't say it's 100% guarantee at this point still. This kind of stuff certainly helps, though.
Yep, he gets brought down now. CM with a big freezing field, though Koikba, he writes a check that his ass can't cash as he gets brought down, and the 2 supports are going to have to back up. There's the global. Insania going to be punished, and on the other side, Taiga may still be able to get away. Virtus.pro finally gets some much-needed kills, though they did lose their Terrorblade.
Yeah, but that is going to favor them pretty hard, right? If you just keep trading this 1-for-1 like that when you're this far up, and then it comes back to my one concern is that I'm just looking at the heroes from Alliance, and I worry about that eventual high ground push. And some of that is certainly some recency bias based on the last game and how that went down, but I think their heroes are a lot worse at it this time.
It's true, but I think Monkey King, when he's this far ahead, can be exceptionally difficult to deal with. He's gone for the Echo Saber and have a Manta Style coming out next. Just look up top, Ramsey's just trying to farm the lane. They have to use a Stampede defensively, and it might not be enough. Oh, the Sunder, it comes out in time, and Ramsey's turns it around. They get the shutdown gold. 700 going the way of the Terrorblade.
I mean, this is a fully physical spec'd Monkey King versus a Terrorblade with 27 armor.
That's a fair point.
It's really bold to go for that play and think you're going to get the full chain stun into a kill before a Sunder.
Bold is the right word.
Too bold. And this is why I have concerns.
Yep.
Those kind of plays, you can't give those back up, man.
I was ready to believe in the Monkey King snowball until that happened, and now I'm sharing in your nervous stance here.
One of the big problems is that Boxy still hasn't had a real impact here because he's just getting the egg. So now things could change around quite a bit for Alliance. It's like this guy has been your safe lane for the past 14 minutes.
Yep.
Right? He's got to get in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Big item pickup there. Koikba still continuing to clear out Ancients.
If no one comes for this next wave, he's got a chance here. Oh, jeez. Ankles, baby. Get out of here.
No one with the footwork. Nice TP out. Very crucially survives there. Storm does have the Kaya. Has Bloodstone queued up next, but very far away. And now the supports again from Alliance. Trying to put pressure on this Terrorblade. Freezing Field isn't going to be enough. Terrorblade trying to walk away, and he will go down to Insania. The Global not up in time. Both supports will fall.
That was so painful. It was 2 seconds away while he's channeling there on that silencer. It's like trying to protect your TV.
Yeah, ends up being kind of a wasted Global, though, unfortunately.
It still helped get them a couple kills. And now they're chasing on to Mickey. Oh, I thought it would be the Broodmother Pinata that was being popped, but it could be Mickey here.
This could be big.
Oh,
They've got the Vortex into Stomp. Plenty of damage, and the Monkey King will get finished off again. virtus.pro continuing to play this scrappy game, and that net worth advantage, it's starting to stall out a little bit. It hasn't surpassed 10K. VP are definitely hanging on here, Trent.
Dota Plus, it believes. They know Solo, though, gets left behind, him and Rocky.
He gets the ward,
He gets the ward, though.
He gets the ward. I think that's still a minor victory, if not a moral one.
But will it be a major victory? That's what we're here for. Got him.
One can only hope. Ramsey's got his Dragon Lance now, so a little more stat-focused on this Terrorblade.
Man, it's a fat shaker.
Really is.
Jeez.
When you go Aghanims first, do you still prioritize the Blink as one of your next items, or does the Ags kind of replace the Blink in that regard?
I think I'd almost lean more towards the Shadow Blade, depending on what your allies are.
Okay.
There's no real good Silver Edge target, though, so... he might just go back for the blink. I mean, the blink's still obviously very, very good.
Smoke up, looking for Roger. Does leap in. Not quite enough damage, though. Another counter ward from Alliance, taking some vision control, maybe gearing up for a Tier 1 tower push down bottom.
I think because he's against the TV and Storm Spirit, he'll... If you want to kill the TV a lot, you go Shadow Blade. If you want to kill the Storm, you go Blink. Because, like, Storm's going to be farming waves for the most part, so you have the vision, whereas TV's in the jungle, so you kind of have to, like, scout him out with the Shadow Blade first. So I don't know. Curious to see what he goes for. I don't think you go Crit Shaker, guys, as much as I'm sure you're hoping out there.
Maybe if the game goes on long
It's all I ever hear Slacks. Like, Slacks can't separate the concept of a Core Shaker versus Crit Shaker. Whenever he sees Core Shaker, he just calls it Crit Shaker, even though no one builds it.
They're not the same thing.
Very confused lad.
There's a key item that turns it into Crit Shaker. We'll let you figure out at home which item it is. I think Slacks is still trying to figure it out.
I think the defensive item is also a good choice, either BKB or the Lotus. He's currently thinking about the Lotus just because of the last word and obviously the global silence.
Yeah, yeah. There's one thing the panel mentioned, that Silencer, just incredible against Earthshaker and Phoenix in that regard. Kind of disrupt what they want to do.
It depends. Against Phoenix, it is very good like almost all the time because the initiation's so long for Phoenix, but Shaker can usually initiate before the global becomes an issue. But if he can stop your wombo combo after, yes, big deal. You know, you jump in, you dunk, and suddenly there's a global and you can't follow with Totem. It's pretty bad. No one is invis here in the mid lane with the rune. Looks like they're prepping on the Koifa.
Jumps onto the Koikster indeed. Stampede used, follow up from the Centaur, and this should be a kill. They've got the damage, and no one will get the credit. That's a dominating streak for this Storm Spirit now. 7-6-2. Pretty solid recovery based on how rough that laning stage went.
I was worried about them going high ground. They haven't even got tier 2s.
Yeah.
This game has stalled out real hard, and now they're already down bottom looking at Mickey. But he will hop himself away. Roger just scouting the back lines here. There is a Radiant Observer ward, so that'll alert them to the fact that they're being scouted.
Yep. Roger, though, still initiates, and very bold play. Gets shut down immediately.
I kind of wish they'd waited. Because, like, why? I mean, Weaver's not going to initiate on these two heroes alone, right? So yeah. I kind of wish that they had just...
kind of baited it a little bit. Maybe could have gotten
no one actually zipped in or something, but they play it safe.
Take the freebie while they can get it, as we'll see VP now smoke up behind their tier 2, headed up top to try to deal with Ramses. Global Silence comes out. Phoenix maybe in some trouble. Will have an egg, though, as Global expires. Ramses does have a Sunder.
Yeah, he'll just do
he'll just TP out
trip
as he flies off the map. Gotta love Sunray. Also, BKB up on the Koikva Brood.
Yeah, this is a very big item for them.
Smoke now going to focus their efforts mid. See if they can find an opening. Koikva does have a lot of friends nearby, though, so probably won't be the easiest target.
Maybe if they head global. Without global, this looks real hard.
Yep.
I think you just let this go.
Foxy does have Slam also. Very risky proposition here. Roger comes in, tries to clear things out a little bit.
He's trying to bait a bad start to the fight from Alliance. But they're not falling for it.
So they're getting stalked out by the Monkey King now. Glyph comes, but Koikva going to grab himself basically a free tier 2 mid. No defense mounted. It's the first tier 2 down, Trent.
There we go. And that puts the lead heading back their way for the first time in quite a while. It has essentially stalled at 9K since about the 12-minute mark. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it's slowly like going down to like 8K or so, but now we'll build it right back up.
A lot of progress towards this Bloodstone. Although Storm able to zip away here, I think. Should be all right.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to get. They'd have to get really lucky on the freezing field.
Oh, might end up finding one on Insania. Electric Vortex. Stampede used so they can try to close the gap. Pasha comes in, interrupts the freezing field. They'll get one and probably two. Mickey in a lot of trouble, but a nice setup from Boxy. Fissure into the slam, gets the kill on no one, ends the streak. Now Pasha trying to survive in the trees will not be so lucky as he gets whomped by the big bad totem.
Bait into bait there. Completely worth for Insania, of course. That pushes him up to now a 10K lead. It's slowly built. And about 800 gold now for that Shaker, too. So that's going to help him almost finish off the Lotus Orb.
Oh, Solo. Great positioning here with a double damage rune to boot.
Very nice.
Gets the cleanup kill onto the Monkey King.
Predicts the movement into the shrine. That is really nice. Yeah, hand the boy some tips.
There you go.
I like how he doesn't even TP out. He just keeps going.
He's got a double damage rune, dude. He's feeling good.
He doesn't even have wards. He's got 2 sentries, and he's still just running around Radiant territory and gets the silence off.
Oh, brutal for Taiga up top. That was the target for the global.
What a wraparound. Solo's just finding his way to the pit.
And now
D-warding behind 3 heroes in the Roche.
Alliance are in Roche, but they only have 3 heroes alive. Silencer is going to get jumped on by Boxy, and this might end up being an easy kill for Alliance. But around the pit, virtus.pro have intercepted this Roche attempt.
This might force the buyback to Phoenix.
Yeah, Alliance have no choice but to back out. Roche still pretty healthy, about 2/3 HP.
Quiver's in a really dangerous spot here. If he gets scouted out here, no one can help him.
He does have the BKB TP, though. And instead, he's going to be the one to initiate onto Pasha. Does have some support inbound, but I don't think they'll get here in time. Oh, the Fissure just barely clips him. They force out a defensive Stampede. Reflection used by the Terrorblade. But no additional pursuit.
So back has arrived. They head right into the Roche pit. This is well scouted from virtus.pro. They know this is happening. Question is, are they actually going to make a response here?
Able to kill it relatively quickly with the medallion, plus the buffed up totem. Looks like VP might just hand it over. Good positioning from Alliance. I see Insania with the invisibility rune.
No Stampede, no global. Just can't really fight this, at least not confidently.
Definitely good stuff for Alliance.
I'll probably for Koifa, and yes, he will take it. So 10-second BKB and an Aegis.
Is a scary item on the horizon for VP, though, and it's in the hands of Roger. 1 piece left for that Aghanim Scepter, and he's getting a lot of space to farm it right now.
That is true. However, it's going to be completely focused on Ramses, who's just, he's not that scary this game.
Not yet, at least.
Yes, it's true.
But don't worry, he's a Terrorblade, Trent. He's a-coming.
It's terrifying. Is that what you're alluding to?
He's always scary.
No one almost has the Bloodstone. Speaking of scary items, that item frightens me when I see allies pick it up. Oh, Pasha left over there. Second leap comes through. The frogs.
Yeah, this poor Centaur gets outmaneuvered. Plus 20 int on this Silencer. Pretty darn good.
And they're onto the high ground here.
Well, here you go, bud. No buyback on the Centaur. You were worried about how they would do it. And they're already putting a lot of damage into this tower. No glyph for virtus.pro, down for another 40 seconds. In comes the long zip from the Storm, trying to clear out some of these creeps and spiders, but...
Yeah, this Aegis, they're playing it perfectly from Alliance.
Yep.
Have to give them a lot of credit.
Hanging on to that 10-second BKB. Stunned up, Boundless Strike into Fissure. That Silencer gets dropped. 2 in the grave for VP. Tier 3 down. I don't know if this will be Barracks, though. How long do Alliance want to stick around? That Centaur's coming up, and he will have a Stampede. Wukong's command now onto Ramses. He's got BKB and Sunder.
It's time for the meta.
Another zip from no one.
If they stick for these melee racks, they have to fight.
Centaur initiated on, but there's the global. BKB's used, still big damage. Echo Slam from Boxy. VP in a lot of trouble. They lose Pasha. Ramses with the BKB on. Metamorphosis putting some damage into the fight. They force the buyback from Solo, but VP do hold. Alliance still with all 5 alive. Back up, recollect. They'll use that Sunray to heal up, but I think they want to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, I think this is good. Just stick around. Everyone's got a couple wand charges, some tranquil boots. Oh.
Another setup here onto the Terrorblade. Big stun locks. Can he get off this Sunder? It's not looking good. The Storm jumps in, but he gets frozen straight away. Sunder flies, but it's not going to be enough to keep Ramses alive. No one now out of mana trying to commit onto mid-game, and he gets frozen. He'll get brought down as well. VP in big trouble as now Solo falls. The buybacks come from Storm, but 3 heroes in the grave with no ability to make it back. No one trying to commit into the backline. Finishes off Boxy, but it's going to cost him everything. Die back for no one. 12k lead for Alliance as they go right back for the Barracks.
There are still tier 2s, so this is only going to end up being 1 lane. Highly doubt they're going to go for the full finish of the game here. Probably take just a wee bit too long. We'll see, though.
I don't know.
Alliance will commit.
Storm in the grave. You know he doesn't have a buyback.
You know there's no
Silencer
meta.
Doesn't have a buyback. It's so risky, but maybe tempting. They're not going to go for it.
They have so much gold. You really don't want to try and push this. You don't have Echo.
That was already so much better than planned, forcing 2, 3 buybacks there.
Yeah.
3, actually. Alliance looking so good here. 15k.
They really settled down after all those pickoffs and stalling out at that lead for such a long time. They finally just got things collected, got it together, and were able to kind of focus their efforts into that Roche pit. And then once the Aegis is on the Broodmother, everything just kind of changes.
Yeah. And they didn't even lose the Aegis. Still a minute and a half or so left, and Assault Karaf on the way.
You saw that, like, even during that fight, Roger got off a decent Aghanim's ulti there onto the Terrorblade, but it didn't end up mattering. Like, it bought more time for the Sunder, but...
I mean, part of the problem was there wasn't a good Sunder target.
Yeah,
Nobody
like
was
right
topped
there.
off.
He gets time lapse, but it's kind of like, Still can't turn in any kills. He just goes on the Phoenix, he still gets off an egg.
Sunder gives him like maybe 10% or something. And Mickey just barely survives. That's the scary part about the Monkey King. Low HP once that Jingu Mastery comes out. Not the hero you want to be committed on. I like what No One tried to do here. Great that he was able to shut down the Earthshaker, but...
There were still just so many resources left, too.
Yeah, that dieback is brutal. Definitely hurts his economy quite a bit.
Alliance Dota. They're doing it.
Tier 2 up top, going to be finished off now. Looks like most of our cooldowns have reset. All the ultimates and meta available.
Dota Plus is still only giving us 60% win rate. What a bunch of haters. Valve, they're not loving the former TI champs here. Still counts. Loda's there.
Uh-oh, initiation onto No One. He's going to get stunned up. Time lapse comes out from Roger. Very nice. It's a very short cooldown, so absolutely worth it to use it there. Assault Karas is up. Still Aegis of the Immortal, but only going to be around for another 15 seconds, so Koikba needs to be a little bit careful. Pasha jumps in, actually gets stunned up. They get the tier 3 tower. No One out pretty deep, caught by the Frostbite now. Follow-up Boundless Strike, and Sania with a decent freezing field, but not enough to find the kill. Alliance playing this very safe, being cautious about this Aegis reclaim. There it is. Free regen rune for the Brood.
Oh, speaking of regen rune, though, No One grabs one.
Oh, and a literal regen rune for No One. Okay. It's pretty nice.
And he's not going to end up going up top. I thought maybe that could give them an opportunity just because they saw the storms. That's why it's just a common thing going in towards the shrine, but they still have VQVs and everything too. Pretty tough fight for virtus.pro to take. They have the Stampede, they have the Global Silence. Maybe that'll give them an opportunity to win something here from virtus.pro, but 14 charge Bloodstone 2 for No One.
That fresh Bloodstone, the make it or break it moment. If BP can have a good hold here, this could set up the Storm Spirit for the next big fight. However, if he dies... Oof.
It feels like they need a whiff slam from Boxy. Like, if that somehow goes poorly, I can see it, but he's already in there.
Boxy jumps in. They're on that silencer. He gets the global off before he dies, but Solo on the sidelines for 45 without buyback. Pasha also goes down. Boxy still surviving through this. Ramses BKB on, looking for a potential Sunder target, but Mickey able to back out, trying to bait him into that Phoenix Supernova. VP do dodge it, but Ramses gets finished off. Immediate buyback. He does not have meta, though. Down for another 65. There's the glyph. Wukong's command. No One trying to clean this up, but he just can't. 3 on the sideline, no buyback. Or pardon me, 2 on the sideline. That's going to be GG. They call it. The VP know that they can't turn this one around, and we are going to the Game 3 decider.
I really like that from Alliance, honestly. The fact that you like take this Broodmother again in Game 2 and you're able to win.
That's got to feel good. That's a big boost to morale right there.
It's very virtus.pro-esque, honestly, right? That's kind of what they were doing. They just kept like first phasing the Brood, even if games went a little bit poor for them. Of course, that didn't work out too well for them in like TI in terms of like group stages and stuff, but it worked for Alliance.
Brilliant execution, though. Seemed like that Crystal Maiden had a huge impact, some really big Frostbites to set up kills, and I think Boxy, for me, basically a perfect Earthshaker game. Not really a moment where you can point to him making a clear mistake.
It's his team had to buy him a lot of time, I would say, in terms of that like laning stage. You know, lost a couple deaths there on the Monkey King because your Earthshaker's just like farming up so much and not really joining on the engagements. But in the end, it worked out for the victory. Do you feel like you still kind of have to give a little bit of hate to that mid game? It's like, geez, they had such a massive lead. And on the one hand, it's like, yeah, they were patient and they didn't push too far. But on the other hand, they also threw away a lot of that lead and stuff. And virtus.pro kept clawing. But Alliance, sorry, Bulldog, they did win. We got to give them some credit.
All right, well, panel, back to you for your thoughts.
Sticking to your guns definitely worked out for Alliance here in the second game. They tied the series 1-1, and I know Alliance is very happy with that, and I also know that Bulldog's very happy with that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm happier about Alliance winning or Kyle being completely wrong. I think I'm more happy about Kyle being wrong.
It's funny because he was right. They need to pick stuns, but then he was so wrong because, you know, they won.
I mean, they took my advice. What can I say? Sometimes
you still didn't believe them.
No, well, I didn't think they would use it so well. I think Boxy and Mickey went off. There are some questionable plays by Pasha. Monkey King does beat Centaur in lane, but there's this one moment he TP'd in, double-edged stun Mickey, and Insania's there as CM's like, wait, can't we kill him now? And they did. And there was like 3 times in a row he died.
And they were And for very early on, they did this like 3-man gank mid to kill the Storm, and meanwhile Monkey's top, solo killing the Weaver, bullying the Centaur. It was just like, okay, these lanes are just won. Normally VP don't lose lanes.
I loved Boxy's build too. I think that's something we might see more often on Core Shaker. Just treads wand Ags. He did so much damage. You don't need a blink, which makes it much easier to play against Silencer, and you're so much more of a threat. You're hitting your W attack is like what, 400 really damage, 500.
Yeah, and then with something that's like a kind of typical Alliance. Well, they did well in the lane, but then maybe came a little bit and got picked off with the Monkey a little bit, and they died a little bit here and there, and you start getting worried. But this time they actually were able to pull it through. Just felt like no one didn't have his best game.
10 deaths on his Storm Sphere.
Yeah,
that's
a tough one. And for the second time, Dota Plus was not in the right. Like, it has not been favoring the winning team so far.
But Valve, right, Bulldog?
Yeah.
Can't be wrong.
Can't be wrong, right?
It's like it's a gimmick they have. People buy Dota Plus.
Mm.
Well, they're not really selling it well. They were wrong 2 games in a row. But no, the Alliance just played really solid Dota all around. The support Weaver, Bulldog Dowda, and I think we kind of saw it not really that effective this game.
I'd like to see more CM too. I thought Insania rotated around the map really well, and it made all 3 of the cores on Alliance a lot easier to play.
And you laughed at the last big CM.
I didn't think... I honestly just underestimated the game that Boxy would have. Like, I haven't seen a core shaker in so long, but I think this item build that he went really showed just how powerful it could be if you have that good start. And Mickey is not supposed to kill Centaur 3 or 4 times. This is the damage. Like, look at the damage from this 1W. He well played by Pasha. He jukes the stun, but it's just, oh wow, all right. that's an Ags and treads. Like, that's it.
That's it. Who needs blink then, huh?
I'm not sure even how he got so much farm in the Earthshaker, because he was laning against a Silencer.
Sounds a terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would be the greatest lane, but he just won that lane. And the procedure just get that, just farm up that Ags, and then just go around, go ham.
Yeah, I think maybe VP made the same mistake Alliance did in game 1. Where are their stuns? Silencer Weaver supports, a TB and a Storm. Like, sure, you have a Centaur, but when Storm's game is this poor, he doesn't really affect the status quo whatsoever.
I think Centaur Storm's enough, though, as far as initiation and catch and stuns go. It was more just the fact they were just so far behind early on. Like, this Pasha does not have a game. He ends this game with, what, incredibly low farm, no impact, no damage dealt. It was just a silent game from him.
I actually think Alliance had the superior, not lanes, but like the way they set up the lanes on a game-to-game basis was better in both game 1 and game 2. You had the Io Gyro against the Brood, which is relatively unfavorable when you consider their other heroes were Tiny and Pango. And then this game, don't you put your Terrorblade lane against the Monkey and the Centaur against the Shaker? It feels just a lot more easy to trade.
It would have been better, but at the same time, that's why the Monkey pick 4th was so good, is because whether he's against the TB or the Centaur, he's going to have a decent lane. The Metamorph is, you know, a little tricky at the start, but once you outlast that Metamorph, you're going to crush him.
Yeah, and we didn't really talk a lot about Brood this game, and we see why they pick it every game for Alliance. Korkvar definitely played super well this game, absolutely stomping Storm in the middle. I mean, he did kill him, and then he got a gank on Storm, and then Storm couldn't... Usually you just go to the jungle with Storm, but then Brood just puts some web there, and then you couldn't go there anymore.
That's a good point. Like, I would say Centaur and TB are better against a Brood. Like, I've seen Ramsey's TB specifically lane against Broods just fine. You get a double shield at some point, you outlast it, and you scale better. So yeah, sure, Brood is going to have a free game, and now your TB is huge. He's got free XP, and his game is guaranteed good. You put the Storm against the Monkey. He's got 6 armor, and he's a ranged hero.
So they should have swapped lanes.
I think they just had to game plan the lanes better. It's same in game 1, where they just, I felt, had an inferior concept to Alliance in terms of what matchups would we like to guarantee we get and what can we exploit.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good that would work, though, because the problem with Terrorblade mid this game is that he would get no help, I don't think. And he would get ganked on, and he would just get destroyed there, I think, as well.
That's what happened to the Storm. The Storm was actually doing fine 1v1 until the rotations came.
And to Bulldog's point, I think what Secret is doing so well is their support's influence on the game. They almost always have active supports. I don't think that this 2 defensive, no disable heroes like Silencer Weaver, to Bulldog's point, you can't do anything middle if you put a Terrorblade there. You don't influence the lanes at all. You're just hoping that you win. Whereas CM Phoenix, they're so easy to rotate. We saw them collapse mid, boost their Broodmother's game, find kills, and just easier for Alliance to play the game. And miraculously,
So you're saying they
took
didn't draft enough stuns?
That's what I'm saying.
Stuns.
I'm sticking to it.
All right, it's going to come down to that. Well, we have a third game between these two teams, so it will be an exciting one. You can join us for that one as well, and it will happen after the break. Hello and welcome back to the KLMajor. We're in the middle of Group D and we have the first series of the day. It is virtus.pro versus Alliance and it is tied 1-1. We have a third game to decide which one will be going to the upper bracket of the group and which one will be going to the lower bracket of the group. Group stages are GSL style here, which means the top 2 teams of each group will move to the upper bracket of the main event and the bottom 2 will move to the best of 1 lower bracket. It's not all best of 1 lower bracket, but round 1 is, and that is scary. Not where you want to end up, and a good start is winning your first match, and that's going to be the goal for the teams here. I'm here with Bulldog, Gods, and Kyle, and opinions have been fairly split amongst the panel. That we have one strongly in camp Alliance and one strongly in camp virtus.pro, and Gods is like the middleman.
Alliance was my dark horse for this tournament.
Sure,
No,
but
weren't.
you said that.
Yeah, they were.
You said that not on an official broadcast for the KLMajor.
Well, I had to be the counterpoint here. We've got literally a fanboy wearing the merchandise.
Oh, but
I
was
gotta
he
balance
wrong?
out the panel.
Oh, was he wrong?
So far, both of us are a little bit right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
game 3.
So far, the only one who was right is Gods.
With a little help, but I'll take it. No. Might just defer my game 3 prediction to production once again. That worked out well for me so far.
Before we continue with the draft of the third game, by the way, we can check in quickly with Group C because Forward is playing against Pain Gaming in that one, and it is a 1-up. Wait, that was the other. That was Group D. That is.
That's us.
That is us. But Group C, however, is done.
Looks like
2-0
LGD 2-0'd
Tigers.
and Fnatic won game 1, game 2
They'll,
scoring off.
they'll finish out game 2.
This
soon
this
enough.
group looks very predictable. I don't think Tigers or Gambit's causing any upsets personally. It'll just be a good LGD Fnatic series to see who gets first in the group.
Yeah, they did it
I don't know.
fast. I guess there was 2 games already.
Tigers are the minor winners as well.
They are.
Losing instantly.
I mean, I still think they're one of the bottom 4 teams here, despite winning that minor.
Oh, that's really harsh. All
Yeah,
the minor teams.
somebody has to be the bottom 4 team, you know?
Yeah, it's not Alliance.
It's not
It's
Alliance.
just like on this panel. Someone.
Shiver.
What did I do? I'm literally
Someone
in control of the
has-
conversation. I can make sure that you're not able to talk the whole
I'm
time.
sorry.
Why would you
I
try
love
to
you.
shut me down?
I do love you.
He's just
Okay,
salty
thank
that he lost a 1v1.
Yeah. I mean, I don't blame him for that. It was I was just dominating that. All right, draft time. Let's see who's gonna dominate who here with Alliance versus VP. Game 3. Look at these openings. We have
that
something
is-
entirely different.
That is a yikes.
So
Why is that a yikes?
they
Well,
picked Murata.
they-
Yikes for Alliance, I take it.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a brood to build around anymore.
Yeah.
VP got
They got Tiny first pick. That's smart.
they got Morphling as well. Like Nisha hasn't lost a game on Morphling in competitive play, right? Ramses is up there with the best in the world on the hero, and you've got a Murata.
Yeah, hopefully they learn from their lesson though that they should not pick Brood this game, especially not when there's a Tiny and actually get a couple stunts.
Surprised they didn't ban Tiny, but at the same time, like Wisp, Enigma, Axe, you can make really strong arguments. You don't want to play against those either.
10 seconds remaining.
This seems more bread and butter VP, and if they,
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like this might be a different VP from the previous 2 games we've seen. The one thing they've got in spades is pride, and I don't believe they have any plans on losing to a team like Alliance. As Bulldog has said, you know, the underdogs.
What kind of
coming
team is Alliance? Team like Alliance.
I don't
What
know.
does that
team
even
are they?
mean?
Yeah.
in.
Just
You're
asking. I'm not,
You're wearing the
not-
shirt. I ask an expert.
You're
They
making
just beat
statements. though.
VP. It literally just beat them.
Yeah,
Easily.
I don't think VP was planning on losing previous game either. So you
Yeah.
know,
I
there's-
think any team's ever planning on losing.
exactly.
I guess.
I think J-Storm was planning on losing against Secret.
Have you
That was
ever
in the game plan. Let's
They
lose to
drafted
Secret.
like they were.
have you ever planned on losing a game?
Don't think so.
You lost quite a
Yet
lot.
you
though.
lost anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, you're never expecting it. Well,
Well,
sometimes
you-
maybe.
I feel like you should be expecting it.
Sometimes.
At least some of the time.
There,
a lot.
any drafter will understand. There's some points, you know, it'll be like pick 4 or the last ban. You'll just be like, damn it, I messed up. I hope my team doesn't realize that we're screwed. But you know, do what you can.
And did Alliance mess up this game?
I don't
Yep.
think so.
They're drafting exactly the same heroes.
Game 1, deja vu. Are they going to
Yeah.
Monkey King it once more and just call it a day?
It's a different situation here, though, where, like, VP, they've got to have learned from LGD, who were the first ones to say, look, we can put Morphling mid against a Brood and crush it. And I watched Ame just dumpster Brood Mother to the point where it, like, left the meta for a little bit.
Who did he play against?
Ooh, that's a good question. It wasn't a bad Brood.
Morphling beat Brood? Like, how's that possible? There must be a rotation or something.
No, you have a 30 damage advantage, and you buy 2 shields. And it's 75% of the time, spiders do next to no damage. They do like 3 a hit against shield proc. Because Morph has incredibly high armor as well.
You know, Dazzle has a 100% win rate for VP over the last month.
It's a good sign.
That's probably why they pick it here.
Yeah.
Why haven't we seen Dazzle a lot? Like on other teams, there was a period where everyone was like, "Oh, Dazzle next best thing new."
We saw Dazzle
hero.
a lot against these like tiny and center off lanes. These melee off lanes, you just get poison touched and right clicked a lot. And I think teams start to understand what Dazzle did a bit better. It was like a surprise thing where it was the same reason why I think Visage was really good for like a month, was just because people didn't understand the hero and what it did, and then they got used to it. And it's like, okay, we just have to lane differently.
I think that once someone figures out how to make it a core, it'll jump into that tier 1 category. But right now, it's almost always that safe lane support, and it's just too small of a niche for it to see high tier play as like an opener very frequently.
Fair enough.
The Boxy Brew. Bulldog's been waiting for this, but unfortunately, I see 4 Alliance heroes and not a single real stun.
Are you telling me Brew does not have a stun on like 5-second cooldown that he can spam? That is a stun.
A 5-second cooldown on a 120-second cooldown. But yeah.
That's like 600 seconds.
Hey, the deny pick of the Monkey King. This is actually a good thing for Alliance. Now they cannot play Monkey King, so they have to go for something else.
Yes, somewhat.
Yeah.
They're just picking options here, you know. It's, again, this idea where you don't just pick one hero who has to lane against Brood, and then if you don't get the matchup and have to swap lanes, you could be in trouble. So you've got Monkey King who's good against him, you've got Morphling who can, Tiny looking like a support maybe.
Not anyone can play Monkey King. This hero is really bad if you're a bad player. This hero just feeds very, very easily.
It's a very good
don't
point.
have many bad players on their team, luckily.
Yeah, they do have a couple.
It's pretty easy to be bad at Monkey King, though.
Yeah, if you overestimate your passive and so on, and this hero is not as easy as it looks.
Yep. It's also very different in play style, like we saw in the previous couple games as an offlaner versus a carry. Like when you're a core position, you can play a lot more aggressively because you have that farm advantage. I don't know if I believe in the 3 Monkey King unless you're able to become the 1 or 2.
Yeah. I want to say it might be Ramses or no one playing the Monkey King. No one's played the Morph too. He's very good on this hero. It's not just Ramses who plays Morph mid.
I think it'll be a Roger Tiny at this point, and they go for a Pasha hero here. But a lot of his heroes are banned out.
That's what Alliance thinks. They banned Centaur last, so.
Could be. I mean, we've seen Bat a few times, but I'm not a huge believer right now.
They need stuns themselves. Like, they have Tiny, who's initiated, but they don't have
Tide Hunter.
No.
That sounds dubious.
What's wrong with Tidehunter?
Useless hero.
Why? We saw him yesterday.
He's got a very long cooldown on his ultimate.
So does Brew.
Not as long, and it goes down as well. And there's an uptime, or like less downtime because you're active during the ult, like 20 seconds.
That's better than Tidehunter.
Oh yeah, because they banned the Pango instead of the Mag. Batrider? Ursa.
All right, Alliance manning up here.
They know they want
Loda is feeling confident. Look at that, man. Beautiful.
Whew.
Support Brewmaster. Interesting.
All right, guys. So game 1, we had no stuns. We lost. Game 2, we picked the stuns. We won. So what are we going to do? Assert dominance. We're going to run at them and hope that they stand still so we can beat at them.
So, in other words, you're banking on VP for this third game.
I think every hero on VP deals with Brood a hell of a lot better than the previous game. I don't think their lanes are too bad as long as they dodge the Magnus versus Ursa matchup. And they're going to try hard. Ramses Morph, come on. I can't.
In the previous game, and the games, multiples, they did not look too hot in the lanes. Is it better? Did they fix it with these heroes?
I think so.
How about you, Gods?
I think VP did some adjustments and fixed some things, but I like Alliance's draft a lot. They have some great lane dominators. I think Ursa's a good pick here, but I'm going to have to stick with VP. But it should be a close game.
It says
There you go.
Alliance. What? Obviously, Alliance win. And they do have stun.
Went
to Wyvern, stun. Broodmother pseudo stun because she's like massively slows. Mirana stun, Brew stun, Ursa's a stun because it goes Abyssal. There's a 5 stun hero lineup. They're gonna win.
Simple math with Admiral Bulldog. I'm liking it. Let's find out what's gonna happen here in this third game with your commentary team of Zayori and Trent.
Thank you very much, Shiver. Exciting stuff indeed as we get into this deciding match. Trent, what are you thinking about these picks?
That was some EU math over there by Bulldog. I don't know what that was.
That's the new meme. Forget about this NA math stuff. I like this VP draft again. I'm a big fan of Dazzle Morphling. I think there's some synergy with those two. Opens up some possibilities for Morphling to go hardcore in those fights, full damage, right?
Yeah, a little bit. I like the Alliance draft. Looks a little bit like kind of the secret stuff that they were playing at Hamburg with like the support Brewmaster.
Sure.
But I would have to go the Gods route and be like, yeah, I do like the Alliance draft, but I think VP are going to win. Now, I actually do overall still like VP's draft better. I think this looks a lot more like Game 1, where there were 3 lanes that didn't look like fun for the Broodmother. So, like, no matter where Quakefoot goes and no matter what he shows, like, he's going to do this double web mid thing again. And will he actually stick here? He's got the shared tangos this time, so perhaps he will. But this is one of those matchups that people look for, right? They want this Monkey King versus the Brood.
Right. What do you think about the Ursa? Feeling confident in that final pick from Alliance?
Well, we heard the conversation in terms of like who you want to be laid up against. There's no question that if you're the Ursa, you definitely want to be against the Meg. That would be a lot of fun, but that's pretty unlikely to happen. So you're going to be up against this Morphling and the Tiny. And you have a Wyvern, pretty good position 5. Just keep like bullying the lane. And Tiny is like kind of awkward with the Morph. It'll depend a lot on the first couple waves, how many kills they get, but they're going to try and do the lane swap now because you can see that Tiger's playing really aggressively, so he's going to spot out the Magnus and the Dazzle, so they start sending the Ursa towards that Meg.
Yep. Empower on that Dazzle with the Poison Touch. Look at this damage, Trent.
This is the cost of swapping lanes, though, is that you lose 3 of the runes because no one's bought them now.
3 will go the way of virtus.pro. Taiga the only one to pick up that bounty. So Mickey will head bottom with Insania now.
So the
Brood will stay mid.
Yeah, it's successfully swapped, though. So no TPs used. They're going to get the lanes they wanted for the side of Alliance, and to me that is worth giving up one of those runes. Aw, Script blew us a kiss. That was nice.
Oh, shout out to Script. Okay. Very curious to see how the Tiny Morphling lane will go. They definitely have some kill potential between these two. A fair bit of burst damage.
Yeah, Solo's going to cut through the trees up top here. Things getting a little bit dicey.
Oh.
Solo loves this Dazzle. He had some sick games recently, especially one in particular where he was like laning with a Terrorblade and just absolutely destroyed this Pugna Wyvern lane. So double melee heroes in here with the Poison Touch.
And the Shadow Wave. This is the Dazzle dream, dude.
Yeah, you know how this works, right?
You
keep slapping on someone,
but
you keep right-clicking them.
down bottom. He's having a slightly different experience in this lane, getting completely zoned out by Insania.
HP?
Able to use that healing salve. That'll pick him back up. So close to a first blood, though, for the Wyvern.
Oh, and he can't quite cancel it until it takes so long. They already got so much HP back because he was at so much agi.
Still a victory, though, for Alliance in this lane. Very early salve usage. Back up top. Taiga and Solo trading blows. Solo unrelenting with the discount pipe staff, by the way.
And they've blocked off that small camp, which is really important, right? Because the last thing you want is to be having your Ursa in this lane where you can completely dominate and bully, and then they just pull it under the tower. Look at this positioning from Pasha. He went so deep. He just ran past the wave, past the Ursa, and after all that, even with the slow.
That would have been a guaranteed first blood. That's such a heartbreaker, and all the while down bottom, Mickey is the one that actually secures that first blood against Ramses. So no salve to pick him up this time.
He's going to TP right down, too. They're not going to attempt any sort of swaps. They know that it'll just be met by Alliance.
Couple of missteps here from virtus.pro to start things off. Let's check in on the mid lane. Brood versus Monkey King. As you mentioned, this is the dream for no one. 17-4 compared to the 6-0 Brood. Again, inflated by the Spiderlings, but definitely a good start for MK. Double Stout Shield to boot.
Yeah, it's almost like they're sacking Quakefire. I mean, that's what's going to happen if it's, you know, they kind of know this Broodmother is coming every game, even if it's not the first core that ends up being picked. It still means that you're probably going to have at least one bad matchup. But the side lanes, like, they took their time. They countered these other side lanes, and Alliance are getting the matchups they want. So despite the lead for the Monkey King, at least things are looking a lot better for your other two heroes. Not a massive lead so far, but I think it should continue to grow towards Alliance's way on the side lanes.
Dazzle maybe in some trouble up top. Solo has the heal. We'll go ahead and drop it onto the Magnus. Nice skewer onto Boxy. Dazzle trying to use that footwork to get out of here. Boxy taking a lot of damage, but I don't know that Dazzle's going to be able to survive this one. Great use of the Fairy Fire. They get the kill first, favoring virtus.pro.
That was sick, all because of posture, that turns into actually giving them some benefit there instead of just a free kill on the Dazzle.
Bottom lane, Mickey taking a lot of damage. Gets caught by the Avalanche. That'll be a kill for Roger. Insania in the tree line. Arctic Burn will be finished off. He's trying to stay in the fog.
Yeah, they have
Roger
a toss here.
Wants to find him. Toss up in the air. Do they have the damage to finish this off? Ramses will certainly be able to do the job.
All right, well, so much for all that. virtus.pro win. So many sick plays in these lanes. Oh, it's just like, yeah, these matchups look like they're going to be good, but the Ursa's not really getting that big bully effect on the mags that you want. They're still just tradingly even in terms of the last hits.
Oh,
and again, another pushback.
Yeah, Solo very low, but it's going to go similar to last time. Taiga forced back, and he's got the poison. That's probably going to finish him off. One more tick, and he will fall. Boxy chasing down Pasha, though. No skewer available for 12. Trying to get up to the high ground, playing some ring around the Rosie, but I think Pasha going to be hard-pressed to survive this one unless Solo can keep his good friend alive. Just one more from Boxy, and he will find it. Double poison touch. Solo just trying to do as much damage as he can, though he does get clipped by the Thunderclap, and I think that will be the end of him. One more. Nope, Taiga won't be able to commit for it.
I mean, in the end, though, like, this guy's run all the way back, so it's not that great. Now that he has to shrine himself in 30. Or he can take that regen rune that no one has no real need for, so bless.
Yeah, right now, no one is just free farming mid. Up top, skewer back onto Boxy under the tower. Pasha might be able to get a solo play here, or Alliance could potentially turn this one around. Ursa not able to survive as Pasha finishes him off with a straight shockwave.
At the very least, it is a Brewmaster who's getting a kill like that. It's one of the better scaling supports when you get like some early golden experience. But
all the while, there was a battle down in the bottom lane. Ramses almost found another kill onto Mickey.
Oh, they're going to get 3 of the bounty runes too. Taiga will back and get the 1 on the Radiant side. And again, that means they've gotten 6 of the 8 so far. 5 minutes in.
Is this going to be a kill onto Ramses? He's morphing a lot of strength here. They did have a Star Storm, but they see Roger inbound, and they're going to be forced to about face.
Yeah, there was a toss potential there, but they're too worried about Mickey following up onto the morph, it looks like.
Yeah, a scary position for Ramses to be in there. For the sake of Alliance, though, I am worried about how much farm this Monkey King is getting. He is just free farming away in the mid. Ramses taking a lot of damage down here. The Arctic Burn doing some work. They won't be able to finish him off, but they repel both Ramses and Roger. Now back up top.
I think one thing about Nolan over the past years is that he's been one of the best mid laners in terms of converting that very early amount of golden farm into crazy amounts of aggression. Like no matter what hero he's on, I always go to like the Gyrocopters, that prime example of a hero where he just takes into like a whole other being by playing it in such an aggressive manner. So see if he can convert the same way on this Monkey King here. Because he's got some great partners for early kills. Like giving an Empower to himself, just early RP, pretty much easy guarantee. Roger with a very high burst damage support. Speaking of which, burst damage on the Mickey. The Avalanche will connect even with the leap. But he just barely gets out of range there.
Yep. Just not going to be enough. A lot of aggression in this laning phase, though. 5-5 in kills. Very small advantage for virtus.pro. Koikva just working the jungle right now. Off to a little bit of a slow start this game, though he does have a lot of CS. Not where the Brood wants to be in terms of net worth overall. Shrine going to get popped here by Alliance in the jungle. Sania and Mickey will get topped off. It's back up top. Mickey completely repelled. Solo and Pasha actually pretty deep here, cutting that tier 1 tower.
He almost gets the courier for it.
Rough stuff for the Ursa. Taiga rotating mid here. Not going to find the opening. Meanwhile, Solo just putting unrelenting pressure onto Boxy, resetting that poison. They get the first kill. Now Insania getting back to the tower. Wants to finish off Solo. Gets the heal. Will have a Grave TP if needed. There's the Grave. He's going to TP home.
They're running at no one mid here, too. He's forced to use the ulti.
Pasha almost finishes him off there.
So Taiga was in behind trying to grab the courier, but he doesn't end up getting it. The Radiant Courier's been like hiding over in the bottom trees for a long time. What's going on there? But they'll find its way home now, too.
Looks like no kills will come out mid here. No one trying to hunt down Koikva, but a little bit too elusive.
Oh, Ramses dives in bot. It's clapped up, though.
A lot of damage coming his way, but he's got a morph. Turns into the Mirana. Couple stick charges. Should be okay.
Oh, no, we've got so much gold on these Spiderlings. Gets a balance strike onto a bunch of them. very hard to keep your spiders away. It's like Tiny and Monkey King are two of the worst ones because you can just like target one of the spiderlings and throw a tree at it, and that does a ton of damage. Or you can just boundless strike from so far away. Boxy finds Solo walking up the ramp up top, but Pasha comes over to help.
I wonder if they can turn this the other way. Solo with the level 2 poison. Skewer back. Boxy taking a lot of damage and will get finished off by the Dazzle. Not much Insania could do there to keep his friend alive. He did have a cold
he gets
embrace.
the cut, though, onto the tree as no one comes through. Him falling down from the Arctic burn might have saved his life here, but no one's coming to assist.
Yep. And there's that cold embrace. No one just going to hang out. Moonlight Shadow will not be enough to save the Wyvern. Virtus.pro finding the advantage now, 8-6. 2K net worth is their favor. Down bottom, Ramses taking some damage, but he'll be able to make it back just fine. Alliance having trouble actually securing these kills, so they have to put a lot of pressure on.
Roger's in here again. Look at that courier. Can't quite get there, though.
Pasha's had a great laning stage on this Magnus, though. Bottle queued up, level 6.
Yeah, in terms of his net worth, he's one of the higher ones on his team, at least second overall. Ramsey's falling a little bit behind there, but...
Oh, wow, look at all those spiders.
They're
no one
so low.
Not able to finish him off.
If only he was empowered. Life would be so good.
If only, if only.
At this point, kind of waiting on the level 6 for the Brewmaster. Curious what they're going to try and get. Like, I think you just want to hunt the Monkey King. Seems like the ideal target. Killing the Morph again and just like constantly slowing him down wouldn't be too bad either, but...
They're definitely the top 2 targets. They've been keeping Ramses down, but he's not crippled by any stretch, and certainly in a state where he can recover.
Whew. That was a bold arrow. We'll miss onto Ramses. Got like max range here. And he's still just hanging around for this bounty room fight. Same time, it looks like Insane. Whoop! I'm not sure what no one was going for there. He was trying to find the secondary hero there, so see if it helps secure the kill on the Boxy. That was nice.
And they'll grab it.
Jeez.
Very nice.
No, on the next level play there. Slapping on that boundless strike. The thing was a old one.
Yep. Bounties will end up going 2 apiece. In theory, at least, VP should be able to grab that last remaining bounty. Instead, they're focused on kills. No one's got a Jingu Mastery. Spring down. Mickey able to leap into the trees. Still has a couple charges, and they're not going to commit anymore.
So this is starting to look a little bit like last game. His Solo. I mean, last time he was Silencer and just getting run down like this, but Quick giving him the pain under the tower, and whoops.
No grave there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, couldn't. I think he was like trying to wait for the TP and also trying to like min-max his attention. He's taking away from Quick, but Quick is going to get back, probably kill this camp and find the stack at 11, or at least the new one. So a very rich boy here, as long as these creeps get out of the way.
Yeah, Quick having a pretty good setup. He's number 1 on his team, still behind the Monkey King, but...
Oh, that damage, though. There it was. Nice spiders. 700 gold lead right now.
No one going for the Echo Saber on Monkey King. Glad to see he's not going Battle Fury.
Yeah, I would hope not with Empower.
Yeah.
It might be a little questionable.
That's definitely true.
Moonlight Shadow has been used up top, so Patrick's playing very cautiously. There's no curse, though, for the Wyvern, so it's not too big of a deal. We still haven't used this split. And no one going to help scout out Taiga here. Might be able to force a bad split here.
Well, we just have the Brood nearby. A lot of damage on this Tier 1 tower, now down below 50% HP. Boundless Strike. There's no follow-up to actually shut down this Brood. Now back up top, Ramses trying to farm in the safe lane. He does have Pasha nearby. There is an RP available. It'll be hard to use here. Skewers in, pump fakes the RP, does not use it.
He can stay so low on HP this game, though, because there's not really a big threat in terms of like instant burst. Yeah, pretty much a Splinter Blast is like the best one at the moment.
Pasha with the RP onto the Brewmaster. Arrow does connect, and that's going to be the end of the Magnus, it looks like. Ramses uses the Morph onto Mickey again, but Solo in the back line.
Yeah, this is fine to help protect and still chase after Ramses.
Nice grave, although he's not going to have a TP. I think Solo is going to be done for here as he gets stunned up by the boulder under the tower.
And Ramses still being scouted out here, but don't think it's going to be enough. It'll just end up helping to secure some more damage onto the tower for the team. Mid lane, though, no one.
And
actually, no
down
one
bottom, yeah,
gets
Foxy got killed by no one. And now this Tier 1 mid is likely to go down. TP in from Magnus, so maybe he can delay things, but that is the glyph from VP.
Yeah, Roger to TP out just from the pressure of Quickba.
Quickba's doing a really good job bringing it focus into this mid lane and still doing a lot of damage to the tower in the meanwhile.
A lot of really small skirmishes this game. Feels like it's only ever been like 2 or 3 heroes at one spot. That top fight was like the biggest clash that we've really had.
Yeah.
And Koikva just still able to play so aggressively here.
You can tell VP just want to shut down this Broodmother, but Koikva's abusing this cliff area here so effectively.
Yeah, that is the life.
This is the spot, you know. 5 heroes of VP now grouped up around the mid lane. Pretty solid first brew split there for Alliance as well.
I think there's a question as to what's going to happen before Boxy is an item. Because Boxy's really far behind on this Ursa. And like maybe the ultimates from the Brewmaster can help out in this little bit of an area where the Ursa has to farm some, but I think VP feel comfortable playing aggressively now.
Yep, now the initiation into Alliance territory. Insania getting relatively low. He falls first, and now they're trying to finish off Taiga. Moonlight Shadows come out. Detection already been used. The Brewmaster will be scouted and finished off. Double kill for no one. Back to the other side. Koikva trying to finish off Solo perhaps, and they'll grab it.
It almost worked.
Primal Spring, they want to chase down Koikva. Relatively low on mana here, but will be able to get off another set of webs. No one jumps up top, finds him. Is he going to be able to find this kill on Koikva? It's close, but no lockdown. This elusive Arachnid is just too much, and now no one's going to have to deal with the Winter Wyvern. Up top, Avalanche off the mark onto Mickey.
They're still closing in here. They have RP. I mean, they didn't spend too much mid.
Insania could be in some trouble. Has to use a defensive Winter's Curse. Doesn't connect with anybody else. Does set up for the arrow. Splinter Blast doing some additional damage. Courier flies in.
They might toss RP here. This looks really tempting.
I'm pretty with you on that. I'd be a little scared if I were Alliance right now in this position. Taiga does have the split, but they're going to jump onto the Winter Wyvern again.
Oh, he gets it for the Avalanche.
Well played by Insania. Sets up with the Cold Embrace, but there's the RP into Wukong's command. 1 down, make it 2 for Alliance. They get the kill onto Solo. The Brew Split's been used. He wants to try to finish off no one. It's going to be close. He's got a lot of damage, but they actually kill Taiga through the split.
And now they're after Koikva.
Left alone, tossed forward from Ramses. He's going to turn into the bug, and now Koikva cannot get away from this. Or can he?
Yeah. After him.
Well, the bug lives, but still pretty disastrous for Alliance. A 1-for-3 trade, losing 2 of their cores there. Or 1 core, 2 supports, rather.
Yeah, I do really like this whole punish time, because again, it's just Boxy. Trying to farm up in that bottom lane.
Blink Dagger queued up, 1,600 gold. Pretty underwhelming for the Ursa, though.
Yeah, great RP there from Pasha, too, and that fight gives him the Blink Dagger gold if he so chooses it. And yeah, that'll be his choice. So, gonna wait for the RP before they probably get a kill. I mean, they can go for like a Blink Skewer, but Mickey runs into him.
Try this Mirana. Yeah, they're gonna skewer him back.
Look at Roger just waiting.
Yep, Avalanche didn't quite do the trick, though. Do they have the damage? No more leaps, and no one will be able to finish off Mickey. Back towards the mid now. Koikva trying to finish off this tower. Ramses there to defend.
These games, when you're playing this Morphling and you're not getting an Invoker Sunstrike or something, are so good. Like, he's just constantly at max agi, so he can farm so fast. No threats that he needs to worry about this invisible damage or something.
Insania in a little bit of a dangerous position here in the trees. Hard for them to find him.
That is for sure.
But kind of stuck there a little bit.
Stuck or lurking, waiting, biding his time.
Could go either way, but in the mid, they want this Koikva. Can they bring him down? Big damage, but not enough.
What's this fight? So close. Ha!
Moonlight
All
Shadow.
of this time.
Oh, hello there. I don't know if that was the ending he was hoping for,
It wasn't
though.
lurking.
Yeah, the chapter of that, or the first page of that chapter was pretty enticing, but it ended on a very dark note.
Boxy's now mid. And they're going to get a big weave onto all of them, though. Soul pops a smoke, even.
Pasha up top, Blink Dagger ready, has the RP, might not be able to find the opening, misses the skewer onto Koikva. There's the glyph now from Alliance, and VP not even going to push the issue. We'll just be happy to go back to farming.
And
4K net worth now.
Pressuring the tier 1 bottom, too.
Yeah, a lot of space for this Morphling. Ramses has really recovered nicely, now number 3 on net worth overall, behind only the Brood and the Monkey King.
Has a Yasha now, too.
Yep. I think you're definitely right about this situation for the Morphling. Just feels like an easier scenario than the average game.
Just does so much damage. Just running around like 200 damage right now.
Giving Ramses a lot of confidence. Glyph used, Alliance trying to finish off this mid tower. Looks like they'll trade tier 1 for tier 1 as VP finish off the bottom. Pasha skewers away as Boxy tries to initiate with that Blink Dagger.
Oh man, that Ursa is just, it's so lackluster before the Basher.
Yeah.
Like you spend all this time getting the Blink Dagger on Boxy and he joins this fight and that's what happens.
You kidding me?
That's so underwhelming.
Yeah.
But they really want to fight here. They're just going to keep pressuring and pushing. They want to use this Brew Split. And they want to say, hey, virtus.pro, we know that you're not really quite ready to fight.
Yeah. No Moonlight Shadow, no Insatiable Hunger. VP positioning like they could wrap around from the Alliance jungle. Roger and Ramsey's in a very aggressive position. Arrow flies through, hits one of the Ancients, and now Roger might actually get left behind here.
He still has Ava and the Shadow.
Nice sidestep from Koikba, though. Nice grave from Solo, but he will die for it.
Team's
Roger
here.
not going to be able to survive. Ooh, nice Winner's Curse onto no one after the Wukongs come out. Can virtus.pro actually clean this up? It looks like a pretty bad fight as Alliance are just laying the damage into no one. RP slows down the damage from Mickey, but Cold Embrace is there. Monkey King gets brought down by the Brew Split. It's a 3-0 in favor of Alliance. Ramsey's able to waveform away. He should be good. Pasha on the run, but Koikva in hot pursuit.
Defusal in one.
Does Pasha have a TP? No. Absolutely no way to survive here. Maybe hoping for an Ancient Deny, but not going to be so lucky. And the Koikster going to pick up a dominating.
That was a really rough start to that fight for virtus.pro. They kind of go in trying to save Roger. I can see why. It kind of looked like there was turnaround potential because you're thinking, okay, we have RP. Like, if someone's diving on one of your heroes, having RP is one of the best tools you can get. So this whole fight starts because there is a ward in the area there from the side of Alliance. So they try and throw a random arrow. It doesn't quite connect, but Solo comes like, okay, it's like that first hero, right? It's like, okay, I can grave him. It's like, okay, I'm coming with the RP. Like, just wait, and then we're going to Wukong's command them, and I'm going to be empowered. It's going to be so much damage. Skewer comes in, no instant RP. Great counter initiation from Insania with the Winner's Curse, and then suddenly the whole thing falls apart. Like, he comes up, he RPs Mirana, but the split from Taiga, he waited so long before using it, and they just completely changed on no one. So all I can do is throw it a like pointless boundless strike.
Speaking of Taiga, he's going to get caught up top, and this time you won't have a Brew Split for the save. It's going to delay that Blink Dagger even further. Also secure some bounty runes for VP, it looks like. Doxy and Ramsey's going blow for blow. The Ursa going to win that duel. Although the bounty rune was picked up by Ramses. So VP relatively happy with that one. 3 for 1 yet again.
Boxy, think about the eggs and stuff. Okay, good.
He
had eggs queued up for a while. I was like, that's not the item. Bashers, this definitely the choice.
Definitely with you on that one.
Although it can be a little frustrating. We had an Ursa game yesterday where it just kept blinking in. Like he needed like 2 bashes and they win that game. But he just got no bashes and they just lose. And it's like, maybe this hero's not that great.
It's almost like he doesn't actually have a stun.
It's wonderful.
Very small lead for virtus.pro right now. Feels like a much tighter game compared to the first 2 we saw in this series. Has yet to really erupt with significant momentum one way or the other.
There is a kind of another big ultimate aspect of virtus.pro's lineup, much like last game, where they had to play around the meta and everything. They have to play around this RP and kind of the Wukong's command too. Like, it feels it's going to be pretty important in these team fights. So that gives me worry if Alliance can secure the Roche, because it could just look a lot like last game, where they put the Aegis on this Broodmother, you put him up front, and can you really burst that Aegis down without wasting anything? There's going to be a lot of pressure on the Ramses, but he feels the need of going in towards this Lincoln Sphere.
I was just going to ask you about that. We were talking yesterday about how Morphlings really don't like to buy Lincolns that much anymore if they can get away with it. Why does he need it this game?
I think he's considering just the Brewmaster's pretty obnoxious. It's like constantly either spinning you up in the air or throwing these stuns on you, so that's one good reason. But other than that, it's not crazy good. Obviously, it doesn't do anything against an Ursa, who's you're probably the prime target for this Ursa.
Once he gets Abyssal, it'll block the Abyssal
That's
blade.
definitely the big one, yes.
Yeah, but not a lot of single targets. I guess like Winner's Curse.
Yeah.
Spawn Spiderlings. Interesting choice, though. Roger, he's going to get caught by Boxy. Moonlight Shadow's already been deployed. Koikva going to join the party. And old Raj going to get brought down. Not much he could do there. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, though, hey, it's Solo. That's a split push and dazzle.
He's not
caught
Solo.
by an arrow.
He saves the catapult. See, he took that arrow, so his catapult will get more hits.
Let's see, 1, 2 extra hits from the catapult.
That's a worth. And the courier dies. I believe Taiga just sniped it.
The Dire Courier.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bit of a heartbreaker.
Good old Blink Dagger, and there we go. Ursa and Broodmother, pretty hard not to get Roche. So try hard to not have this happen, so.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Now with 2 dead, it'll be hard for Virtus.pro to
trying to
contest
use this vision that was left behind here. Looks like by Solo.
Ooh, RP onto Mickey, right into Ramses, and that's a dead pop.
Oh, Roger. Oh, he's just a little bit too late. He actually headed in towards the pit there, but now he's just dead.
Yeah.
Virtus.pro.
It's going to cost him. Insania also flying in. So 1-for-1 in terms of kills, but Alliance get the Roche, they get the Aegis, and it will be secured on the Ursa right now. Good stuff for Alliance, leveling out that small gold gap we were just talking about. Also, BKB out on Koipa.
I guess, so there's, it depends. I feel like if you put the Aegis on the Broodmother, it puts you into a better point of sieging towers. But if you put the Aegis on this Ursa, it allows Boxy to try and use this Basher and really go for some kills and try and set off some good team fights for you.
Yeah. I like it on the Ursa here. He's really struggled to get that momentum this game. He's been in recovery mode. This is an item that can actually allow him to have a presence now in the mid-game. Lincoln's is just about up on the Morphling. No courier, so it won't be delivered here for another 1.5 minutes, but he's got the pieces.
Yeah, it's definitely Solo's job. You know, you're playing these position 5s, you got to start being the courier. What else are you doing?
He's trying to get his Glimmer Cape. He's still working on that Shadow Amulet.
Oh, get some spiders.
That's pretty nice.
Does he has a smoke, and he's chilling with Ramses, or rather Rogers and Pasha, so.
They've got RP and 5, also 4 staff on the Magnus now, so.
Moonlight Shadow used here by the Radiant, maybe thinking that someone's in the area, but not going to find anything. Radiant Vision on that Invis rune, so they'll be aware if Virtus.pro try and make something happen with it.
Yeah, a little surprised by that Moonlight Shadow. They had a scan coming up in just a couple of seconds. Oh, probably could have just waited for that if they thought there was somebody lurking nearby. Things slowing down a little bit here, though. 25-minute mark, just about to turn.
I think Pasha's my game winner here for Virtus.pro if they can do it. Like, he's gone for the RP build. He's got the Blink and the Force Staff. So he's trying to ensure that what happened in the last fight doesn't occur again. He wants that perfect positioning. He wants a 2-hero RP.
Yeah.
But likewise, Insania can be the one that he already foiled that last attempt. He can definitely be the guy to turn around those kind of engagements.
Here it is. Smoke movement from
Aegis
BP.
Fight. They're coming in aggressively.
They're going to use a defensive weave here. Pasha skewers forward. RP pump fake, still has it. They get the bounty rune, but Taiga jumps in. There's the split. Now Ramses will finish off Insania. Wukong's command, not enough to save Roger, but pretty big damage here. 1-for-1 so far, trying to finish off the Broodmother. They force out a defensive BKB. And it seems that'll be the end of the fight, or will it? On the back line, it's Boxy that catches Ramses.
Bash.
And just like that, it swings in favor of Alliance, and they're going to hunt for more. No one now slowed down, jumped upon, and on the other side, Mickey taking a lot of damage. But I think they'll be able to turn onto Pasha here. Buyback from Ramses. VP want to turn this one around, and now Koifa, he's going to get brought down. Boxy in too deep. That'll be the Aegis. A great buyback from Ramses. Now our Alliance going to try to fight around this, or will they just let Boxy go? Arrow flies in.
Grave.
Monkey King gets graved, but it'll cost Pasha his life. Great reinitiation from Taiga, but Ramses will finish off that wicked 6 streak from Boxy.
Mickey's trying to go for the kill, but there's all kinds of detection here.
Oh no, sentry wards are down. Another sentry comes out. Moonlight Shadow's about to expire, and he will fall. Triple kill for the bought back Ramses.
Oh, that fight started out so well for Alliance. Ramses, he went to the Build-A-Bear workshop, used the morph, but
5,800 damage done by Ramses there.
It's like, you're an Ursa without a bash, though. So he tries chasing after this Mirana. He can't get the kill, ends up dying, and it's like, oh my god, Alliance, like, they're really doing it here. But that buyback into so many kills made it 100% worth it. They really needed Ramses to try and like finish off some of that damage there. And even though it meant they lost Pasha in the end, of course, things are well worth it. Insania now being targeted down here by no one. The Cold Embrace, pretty good.
They'll buy him a couple of seconds, but I'm pretty sure that Jingu Mastery will be all right. BKB up on the Monkey King, saw it debuted in that fight. That was the 10-second charge. You can see how important the BKB is for Koipa this game.
And this
as soon as he reinitiated without it, it was just all over.
So Ramses was chasing the Mirana, gets put into that like weird spot on the high ground when he was morphing from the Ursa and then back to morph, instantly bashed, goes down quickly. But that buyback when he comes back into this fight, Koipa just a little bit. They kind of get spread out, right? Like they're not focusing the same targets. Pasha's being chased by the Mirana, and then Ramses just re-enters, kills Koipa, gets on the Boxy with the Aegis, and then there's a nice grave from Solo. He chooses who he likes more. Clearly, it's no one because Pasha does not get the grave.
Yeah. Oh, Pasha also wasn't stunned either, though. So Pasha did have an opportunity to just back up and run away there. So definitely can't fault Solo for that one. Still a great fight.
I see where his alliance is like.
Fight for Virtus.pro, though. I think one of the issues, too, is that Mickey really committed for trying to finish off that Magnus. And Obviously, Pasha was able to get away with the skewer, force staff, so much mobility.
And then he came back and tried again to try and kill the monkey.
Yeah.
And eventually goes down. He got like 2 opportunities where he could have bailed out of there.
Now the Vlad's picked up by the Brewmaster. Aura-based build here.
I think that's why this hero just makes sense to support, honestly, because all his items suck anyway. Like, seriously, Blink's like the only good item on this hero, and everything else is just kind of like mediocre,
yeah,
especially
like
for how expensive it is.
Eon Disc, okay,
like that item's fine, and it's like, yeah, Radiance is cool if you can somehow get there as a core, but even a core brew has a hard time with Radiance, so it's just like, I just get a Blink and a Vlad.
Is there any merit to the old Ags Brewmaster?
Yeah, no, Ags is totally legit.
Going for the Primal Split build? I know the
just,
talents are pretty good for it.
In the end, a lot of the items just suck. That's what it comes down to, right? The Ags is sick later on when you've got all these splits all the time, but the hero's just so ultimate-based that
yeah.
Your whole point is you just have a blink, clap, and then ulti, and then half the items in the game are just useless when you're in ult form.
That's a fair point. It's also a little risky, because there's that point where the ultimate, it kind of falls off, and then it comes back once he hits level 25. You know, but there's that weird window where it feels like you can kind of just focus down the Brewlings, especially if you have minus armor.
It's a lot better than it used to be, that's
yeah.
for sure.
They buffed the armor a while ago, I think, but there was a point where minus armor strats just straight up, oh, he popped his split, just kill him.
Yeah.
Not fun for the Brewmaster. Dazzle has picked up his Glimmer Cape, though. Great item on this hero. Gives him so much survivability.
That last fight came right around the bounty time. We're only 1 minute away from them once more here, as Alliance will posture themselves aggressively. Number of heroes up here. A couple of dire heroes here, too, as no one shows on the wave. Insania, again, no real mobility. I'm trying to chase. That arrow actually connects him to him on the tree. They can't cut it, though, so they can't get the kill.
Yeah, small degree of luck, but unfortunately for Alliance, VP had a lot of reinforcements. RP on 2. They try to initiate onto Pasha, but he sets it up. Primal Spring, Boundless Strike. Taiga gets brought down first, and now this Ursa is disarmed. He's got nowhere to go. The ultimate's on, but it's not going to matter too much. Nice Winter's Curse. A lot of damage coming into the Monkey King. He will get hit by an arrow, but there's just no follow-up. VP will keep their MK alive. Ursa does live. Roger looking for a pick on the back line. Mickey leaps over the trees. There's an avalanche.
Oh, he missed us.
No one jumping back in onto Insania, and they're going to try to finish off this bottom. Even though the Cold Embrace bought her a couple of seconds, she will still go down, and it's a great fight for VP.
Roger?
3-0.
He just finds Boxy, but he gets mashed up. Roger.
Oh, no. Raj. He sets it up for no one, though. Was that worth it?
Yes. If you're going to just lose Roger purely for the Ursa, that's totally fine.
All right. Well, some more momentum for VP. It's going to be a 1,500 net worth swing. Or 1,800, rather.
18, yeah.
That was some NA math right there.
You've reclaimed the title. Congratulations.
Yep. Oh.
I'd like to be excluded from that. Thank you. I'd like USA math, please.
I like that. I
right.
could get behind that.
Thank you.
I believe in
It's
the
a little
Canadian
offensive.
education system. Offensive to Canadians everywhere.
Together, we have been lumped for too long.
Maybe you guys should just separate from the continent.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I'm in.
Radiant's top tower is
Scotty
under attack.
up on Morphling. Huge item for Ramses. Man, he's big. Now, what's Monkey King up to? The Halberd you mentioned, he's going to have a Scotty as well.
That was like perfectly timed too on that Ursa. He had no idea. Box, just like, oh shit, my fight is over. In there, BKB doing nothing.
Yeah, pretty effective hard counter there against an Ursa.
It kind of like slows down your progression a little bit on the Monkey King. Unless you, like if you don't win that fight because of that item, it's a little bit of a weird item. Because it doesn't like speed up your farming really at all.
In this game, I think the evasion is pretty
Yeah,
valuable.
no, it's totally legit this game.
Very
it's just,
good against Mirana, Brood. It's huge damage mitigation.
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt. I think this game, just like, that was our boundary rune instance, and now we just look for the Roche. But they're coming back up here. Oh, no one. Pops the smoke and gets out. Pasha? Oh, he clearly did not see them.
Moonlight
What
Shadow.
is happening?
Maybe the Moonlight Shadowed right before. Solo, he's going to be TPing out. Now Magnus, caught by an Orchid.
What
Not
a
gonna be
strange
able to
series
live
of
through
events
that.
there.
Very awkward indeed. Orchid is up on the Broodmother, and that's going to be a Bloodthorn up next. So Koikva doing a lot of damage.
Unfortunately for Alliance, this Roche is very delayed. Won't be
Minute
another
15.
Yeah, so they're going to have everything back up on the side of virtus.pro. And that's one of those moments where this game just could have been like brought completely back to even if they all just get that Aegis and cheese right there. Won't be so lucky though. I think at this point in the game, I mean the Broodmother's definitely lost a little bit of steam. Koikva having a hard time getting into these engagements and really having an impact. He's just kind of like stuck in the trees. That Orchid really helped for that pickoff, sure.
Yeah.
And maybe he can find some more moments, but he's Orchid into the Lincoln Sphere, makes it a little bit tough. The BKB, the Monkey King, and he's going to go Lotus next on the Magnus, although he's a ways away, so not a massive concern.
And even though the Broodmother has kind of stalled, her farm is still pretty far ahead of her supporting cores.
Yeah.
Which is even scarier, I think. Mirana is pretty underfarmed right now. Mjolnir, Dragonlance, nowhere near a BKB with a Blink Dagger queued up next, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems a little odd.
Certainly is atypical.
He's going for it. He just sees it as, I guess he's going to try and make use of his Brewmaster. He's basically just going full confidence in his teammates and saying that my goal is to not be targeted. I'm just going to, like, it kind of makes sense, right? Because the Ursa jumps in and takes so much of the attention from Virtus.pro that it's going to be hard to actually focus Mirana. So she's just going full of damage to follow up with that blink of the Ursa. Ramses, they need that bash.
They've got a Sentry Ward down. Virtus.pro know they're coming.
That is painful.
Yeah.
Sentries once again saving the day here. And this is a Dazzle without a GPM talent, and they're still spamming these things everywhere.
With a Glimmer Cape, no less. Very important against the Mirana, though. Good vision for Virtus.pro in general right now. A lot of good wards down, covering both enemy jungles.
Now they're going to go in there.
Got a question here.
How come Morphlings don't go shotgun build anymore? I mean, that's a fair question. It definitely still happens. It used to be, it had to be every game, but now you can kind of look at your opponents and be like, oh, okay, wait, like there's 3 cores that I can squish down with a E-Blade, then I'm doing it. But the hero just scales better now, and like Morph is just so sick.
Yeah, I think also the change to the ultimate was a big factor, though. We'll hold that thought. Pasha initiated on again. He does get Shallow Grave, might still be able to get off an RP. Disarm onto the Ursa, Boundless Strike across the way. Alliance are taking a lot of damage. They trade Boxy for Pasha, and now Ramses is committing deep. He's used the Morph, the very spell we were talking about.
And the arrow
connects onto Insania. It'll be a 3-for-2. The Brew split is just about to end. Koikba
the silence
jumps in. They might be able to finish off Ramses. It's going to be enough damage.
What?
That's the Aegis. But now Taiga has no options. He'll get finished off.
He got ditched so hard.
And Koikva, he might even get caught here as well. BKB forced out as Roger predicts the movement. That's a 9-second BKB used purely defensively. But it does keep the gem in tow, so absolutely worth it.
Virtus.pro just taking away that Roche, though. It felt like the last big hope for Alliance at this point in the game.
Yeah, things really
Even then, I don't know if it
snowball.
would do enough, honestly.
Yeah. One last note on the Morphling, though. I think it's also that the carry pool is so low right now that you sort of need to play Morphling as an actual carry. You can't afford to play him like the shotgun one-and-done sort of build. Not that he can't carry with that build, but it's a very different
this
style.
hero has changed a lot.
Yeah.
Like the whole morphing with no mana is so sick. It lets you farm way more efficiently, and you can still like have defensive options by shifting back to strength and stuff. Like his laning strats are just way better.
Yep.
He's a cool dude. I like Morph. I'm not bored of him. I am down for Morph games. You know, screw TB and PL, but please don't destroy Morph. This hero's fun.
Always an exciting hero to watch. I absolutely detest playing against good Morphlings, but that's just because the hero has such a high skill cap.
Well, it's so annoying because like, he's just better you. You know what I mean? Like he's a better Mirana, right?
Exactly.
He's got like better items. He's farming faster. You saw those leap charges just absolutely obliterating that poor Mirana, and then he even has an arrow now to help stun.
Yep. He's a great demoralizer.
Oh, goodness. As you can see, the 15-minute mark, it was only 71%, but they have now moved up to a 88% win rate here. Win probability, rather.
Dota Buff believes, or Dota Plus, rather, believes. Tier 3 and Barracks were cleared out mid, so that's 1 lane down. What's the play for Alliance here, Trent? If there's one, that 10%, what is that 10% strategy?
Well, Wyvern is a pretty cool hero in terms of turning around your advantage on yourself, right? You got Winner's Curse. Maybe that will be the answer.
I like that.
However,
the problem with that is that Virtus.pro has to provide that opportunity.
And
he up for that.
Has no mobility items still on the Wyvern.
No blink.
These poor guys.
No Aether Lens. No real way to execute that. Alliance need to be a little careful here, Trent. They are very far out of the base, hunting with this smoke. All the while, VP are just pushing up to the high ground. There's double siege creeps here, and Ramses ready to put the pressure on. They force out the glyph way before this fight's even going to start. Another 5-hero defensive weave from Solo.
I love this weave, too. It lasts, it's like underrated, man.
Is it 24
seconds.
Yeah.
It is a long spell.
It has more than 50% uptime, only a 40-second cooldown. It's pretty ridiculous. They did a lot of good damage to this tower, though. They get it down to about a 1/3 HP. Moonlight Shadow, of course, there are sentries all over here. VP will not get caught off guard by this invisibility. Boxy in the front line, still so far away from that Aghanim Scepter. Actually finishes off the tower himself. Drops the deny.
Waveform charges.
3 buybacks available for Alliance. Right now, the Brewmaster and the Brood Mother are the 2 without it. Wukong's command from no one. They want to jump onto Boxy. They'll use a defensive Cold Embrace, but now they're just going to focus the barracks. Double RP off to the side, beautifully done by Pasha. Mirana in a lot of trouble, and Koikva will go down as well. Koikva lacking the buyback right now. 2 used by Alliance, but this could be the beginning of the end.
Run!
Barracks finished off down bottom. Insania falls. He'll buy back as well. They are going to grab that kill onto Roger, but some crippling damage done by virtus.pro. 20k net worth favor. Alliance might be able to hang on here, but their outlook in this game feeling very grim.
Yeah, Pasha wants back in here, too. He's got Force and 3. Oh, that would have been a nice 2-man skewer.
Boundless Strike on 2.
Another weave.
Just makes him so damn beefy. Morphling's got 55 armor plus the weave. Pretty good.
Yeah, nice scouting there in that whole fight, too. Like, no one just... That's one great thing about Monkey King when you're so far ahead, is that you just kind of hover on the high ground and you throw this ulti down, and it's so difficult to fight into it because you have all these ideas of how you counter like certain lineups and like the positioning that you need, and Monkey King just breaks that. He forces you out of that ulti. So what do you do then? You're all clumped up on this like awkward side point. That gave a really good opportunity for Pasha with the 2-man RP too, because they're all just squished over to the same area. And I thought Insania had that fight because he had a pretty good curse coming out to try and save it, but there was already just too much damage on the Mickey. Just like leapt and died. Has no defensive item really.
Ooh, almost initiation onto no one there as Boxy jumps in, but he's going to head back to friendly.
Arcane Rune Monkey King. How do you stop this guy?
You don't. You just wait for that thing to expire, I think. They're hunting.
Oh, they got him with the arrow.
Oh my god, he actually jumps into the arrow. He pops the BKB though. It's Monkey King versus the world. He does have a friend nearby in solo. And Alliance are actually going to Delta split and try to get the hell out of here. I don't know how well it's going to work though. Very spread out. No one in solo, still in the tree line. Taiga though, he might get caught here. Blink back.
He's the Yules too here.
Roger is in hot pursuit. They are going to grab Mickey on the back line. Meanwhile, Yule's Scepter onto the Tiny. He's just zoning out the rest of Alliance.
And he's going to chase it. He's got Blink in 1.
Oh, nice blink from Boxy. Able to survive, but without the Mirana, this is going to be 90 seconds of 5v4 for the final hold. Wukong's command up in 20 seconds. RP also available. No glyph available for Alliance. This is going to be a difficult hold. Ramses is just so big at this point. He pops the BKB and says, boys, let's get the objectives. This game is ended. Bruce split on the back line, trying to isolate the Dazzle, but they just don't have any damage. BKB used by Koikva, but he's forced to just hide in the tree line. Cannot go blow for blow with this Monkey King. Disarm onto Ursa. Right now, VP are just running circles as the Wukong's command comes out. They're repelled back to the well. Megas have been secured, and it won't even be a hold as Boxy gets finished off. Alliance taking a moment here before the GG gets called as VP secures the series in Game 3, 41-26.
Yeah, you have to give a lot of credit to Alliance in terms of that game too. Like that was the Broodmother draft that they're looking for every time. Like the way that plays out, and they kind of checked off all their boxes, right? They're getting themselves that Aegis. They're using that to force the towers, force an early tier 3, and close out the game from there. Game 1 and Game 3, though, you saw certain problems coming through. This time, I think the main issue to me, or maybe the main like good play from virtus.pro is they pressured in when they were so weak on Boxy. Like this guy's just, he was really underfarmed on the Ursa. Him and the Brewmaster were kind of like double 3.5s. So the Brew kind of had this nice, decent start, had some earlier levels, had some kind of good fights with the split, but then you lose Boxy. This Ursa just goes to the bottom lane. He farms for like 10 minutes, and virtus.pro just play very aggressively into your lineup. And of course, no one... I mean, he ends the game 15-1-4. He had a crazy
almost like
start.
a perfect Monkey King game. Easy for him. He was basically free farming in the mid lane, so he had the dream start. Koikva was relegated to the jungle, but such a hard hero to deal with when he's that far ahead.
Yeah, and he just played it so well, though.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. All right, first series of the day in the books. Let's send it back to the panel to hear their thoughts.
First series indeed here on the main stream is virtus.pro. Take it 2-1. Alliance put up a decent fight, fortunately for them, and also unfortunately for Bulldog, who was rooting for them all the way. They weren't able to make it through, but doesn't matter. They will play again, and they have another chance to get to the upper bracket. And even if they don't do it then, they still go to the lower bracket. Nobody gets eliminated in groups. It's all good fun and games right here. virtus.pro, though, they're not messing around, you guys. They looked pretty serious. You said it, Kyle. You know, they don't like losing, and when they do, there's, I don't know, something happens, something triggers.
Yeah, and I ran into Dima, their manager, just a moment ago, and he was saying, you know, we're not being cocky. Everyone's just very jet lagged. So Solo was just trying to take a nap in a way during the draft. No, relax. And just like that win, you know, that was very relaxing for VP. That is.
I was gonna say it wasn't that relaxing for Alliance.
This is the fight right here where Boxy just kills the Morphling instantly and looks really good here. But then the buybacks come from Morphling, and then he like, this is where he like just disengage, like get out, we just kill him, and he's buybacking. But Alliance, they want to keep going, and they lose so much from this. This is really where the game kind of gets super hard for Alliance.
And you can even see the hesitation. They're like in, then out, then they're in, but now it's too late. Everyone's
like, yeah, they see this buyback and like, we pull back, but can he get right into this fight? And he insta-TPs on that shrine, no delay in the fight, and yeah. What was a pretty 50-50 game, maybe even looking okay-ish for Alliance, suddenly gets turned on its head.
I don't like Mikhail Marana. Not to say he plays the hero badly, but you saw his impact on Monkey King and how well he played the hero. But more importantly, he's sort of in control of the pace of the game. Marana, outside of just shoving lanes and maybe TPing in to throw out an arrow, you don't do anything.
I don't like Marana first 2 pick, period. I mean, you're talking about Mikhail Marana, I don't think it's a hero that you can first 2 pick. I don't even like we saw even getting 4th and 5th pick, like when Jay Storm were picking, it's just like, well, they pick Marana, they just lose in your mid lane. Hero needs too many items, it's super squishy. I think the hero is being overvalued right now.
It's just because it's such a valuable pick for Alliance. They're just very comfortable with it. Can play it on most roles and any lane. I think even all 3 players play it, so probably why. And maybe it's time to scrap it.
Yep, I would agree. I think Koifa's Brood really impressed me, though. I was talking with Loda. I really enjoy that he buys all the build-up. You see almost every Brood skip 1, sometimes even 2 of what I would say your core 3 items are. Soul Ring, Aquila, Medallion. And then he goes right into Diffusal, BKB. And you hit this crazy strong power spike on Diffusal, where even though you've only got like 5,000-ish gold or 6,000 gold of net worth, you're so strong. Because the Medallion, you're accelerating with farm, you never run out of mana thanks to Soul Ring, and Aquila is just still the best cost per damage for any agility hero.
But the other problem though with that was that Boxy was having such a terrible game in the top lane. And we saw the power of Dazzle right there against 2 melee heroes, just absolutely destroying them with the poison.
No answer for that. Alliance did try to drag it out so that Boxy could have a better game on the Ursa, but I don't know, at some point it's just not enough. Unfortunately for them. Strong Show, I mean, coming into this series, we kind of thought that virtus.pro was going to take the series. Personally, I thought Alliance did better than what I was expecting them to do.
Certainly. Both their losses in this series were close games. Weren't games where they got blown away. Like game 1, they kind of had a lack of stuns. This game, just like that fight where the Morphling buys back, it was kind of even up to that point. So Alliance looked very competitive.
Yeah.
Alliance is back.
They did just lose, Bulldog, 1 step at a time.
It was against VP.
Did VP look as good as they thought?
We'll see how things end today. If they start in the winner bracket, I think it's safe to say they're back. But they've got,
Are they playing Paynex now?
Paynex and Forward Gaming in the group, depending on those
Isn't that over yet?
So it'll be Alliance.
What's next? Huh? Paynex is next?
I think that's been going on during this series.
Yeah.
Paynex versus Forward already ended. Spoiler alert. Forward 2-0'd Paynex.
Yeah, there we go. So it is Paynex.
Yes.
Alliance is playing. So that's a free win then.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, we'll see. You've got, I was going to say NA versus EU, pretty easy for NA, but Paynex actually coming out of the South American region, so they don't have that big advantage.
They got 3 NA players there.
They do.
True. But Alliance is back.
All right, just to close out the series, series MVP, you already chosen it, Kyle. Why did you choose no one?
I chose no one for 2 reasons.
All right.
1, thought he was very impactful on the games that VP were able to take, and also because VP is just a solid, well-oiled machine, and no one is really ever the MVP because all 5 players make such an impact.
What about his Storm though? In the second game, it was 10 deaths.
It happens.
10 deaths on Storm.
The games they won though, you get 15 kills in both the games they won.
But it's Storm though.
His Storm, yeah. I mean, his Storm was not great.
Maybe that was just Koikfa's Brood. Too good.
Yeah.
I mean, that was game 2 where he got shut down. He was getting 3-man gang. They knew. You got to shut down no one to beat VP, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if that always. That's probably not how you beat VP.
No, you need to, though.
You need to shut down him or Ramses. Like, if Ramses and no one are both not being pressured, you're definitely losing against VP.
Look at that play.
no one, I think, it serves as a bit of a thermometer for VP, in that when he's not hot, the whole team looks a bit off because he tends to be the one they play around.
How's he the thermometer? Because thermometers measure temperature. You're saying he needs to be hot.
He is the thermometer.
That doesn't make sense.
Does not
How-
make sense.
What do you mean? If
You're saying you need to stick a thermometer in no one to tell how VP's doing. Because if he's the thermometer, you're saying because if he's the thermometer itself, he's
so he can be hot or cold. So you can read no one. Is no one cold? He's like 20
but
degrees
to read him,
Celsius
you need
or
a
something.
thermometer. You're not sticking a
He
thermometer,
is the thermometer.
in a thermometer.
You read no one. He acts
No.
as the thermometer.
A thermometer reads his temperature. But you're saying you read the
A
temperature
thermometer
of the
also
thermometer
hangs
itself.
out the window to read the temperature of the weather outside. You don't need to take a temperature, gods.
That's not how it works, Kyle. That's some
Jesus
NA education there.
Literally, there's meat thermometers. You stick in things and you
Yes.
see how hot it is.
Yeah, so he's the piece of beef tenderloin here.
No,
Because you're
he's
like,
hanging
okay, you
outside the
stick
window.
the thermometer in this
He's a
beef
Christmas
tenderloin
ornament.
to check if it's cooked.
You want to add anything to this
No,
discussion, Bulldog?
I'm done.
So, I don't know what happens in Australia, man. Toilets spin
We know how to
backwards.
cook our meat and barbecue properly in Australia.
Yeah,
We're
I
not
don't-
sticking
you want me to-
thermometers
you want to
in
get
other
started on
thermometers.
Vegemite? All right, I don't.
Vegemite's a fantastic creation.
You guys, thank you very much for your contribution. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of you in the next coming days, but luckily they get a break right now because we are also getting a break and we're going to move forward to our upper bracket finals of Group D. Stay tuned for more Dota 2 here from Kuala Lumpur.
in his mouth, Pasha. How do you feel?
Perfect.
Okay, let's do. So this is how it's supposed to be done. I'm gonna give a demo as well. You know, it's just fair. So you're supposed to put this in, and higher. Oh God, this is. Oh, so this is how it's supposed to look, and you're trying to. You have to figure out. Okay, cool. You guys got it. Oh, okay, perfect. So Pasha, here's your sentences to tell. You get a point for each sentence. All right, that's out of 5. All right, guys. You guys ready? Let's go.
Even is.
Ну как ты сейчас? Некрасивый.
The beauty.
Oh.
Even is beauty.
Oh, awesome. 1 point for virtus.pro. Good job, guys.
Ведьмак, это кто?
Ведьмак?
Как его зовут?
Is
the
best medal.
Да.
2 points. Nice job.
Я... Центр. Да. Или... Центр, или... Мид, хит.
Meter fit?
Да, короче.
Oh my God, 3 by 5.
You look... это легко, кстати. You look, ну ты же знаешь, что...
You look?
Ну, красивый тебя. Ну скажи слово, это не видел. Да, я
Take time.
Need pause.
Of course. Take as much time as you need. You got 4 right?
Да.
4 points. Nice
See
job.
again. Что там? Айард.
By words.
Да, айард.
By words?
И он айард.
So?
Holy cow, that was 5 by 5 for virtus.pro. Guys, how did you do it? Did you understand?
We're cheating. I am professional. Yes.
You're professional. That was some cool job, guys. That was awesome. So that was one of the challenges for us today. 9 Pasha, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you guys soon.